The bragging rights for the state of Iowa are on the line. They fired up the grills. The fans are fired up. It's Iowa State coming up next from Ames. The harvest in America's heartland is done, but the battle for the state of Iowa is on. Iowa State has shown that their season of 2000 was no fluke. For the second time in a row, the Cyclones have ridden a strong ground game to a winning season. Their horse, tailback, Ennis Haywood. His counterpart from Iowa City is Liddell Betts. The Hawkeyes are also looking to go bowling this holiday season, and a win over their interstate rivals would lead them to that. They're playing for pride, for bragging rights, and for the coveted Cy-Hawk Trophy. Iowa State next. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler present Big 12 football today. The Iowa State Cyclones take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's the 49th meeting between these two, and for the first time ever, there is more than just pride on the line. The fans are fired up, and for good reason. 2 hours ago, it was raining so hard in Ames, we weren't sure we were going to play, but it is cleared up. We're ready for some football. Hi again, everybody. Ron Thunlin along with former NFL great Gary Reasons. And Gary, you talk about these two teams. First time since 1920, these two have met at the end of the regular season. It's the first time they've had to play for anything. A lot on the line and a lot of similarities between these two.
Ron, in holiday fashion, if you open your mother's cookbook and you want to find the recipe for a good football game, this is what you've got. You got two teams with identical records, a couple of teams that really want to get this football game to get more opportunities in their bowls. Hey, and they approach a football game as well the same way. Offensively, they produce very similar rushing yardage. Their whole offense is the same. I tell you, it's going to be a fun game to watch out there, and these two football teams, they run the ball very well.
Now let's talk about the offensive side of the football. They are very similar on that side. Both are possession teams. They like to hold on to the football, and that's because both have two great backs.
A couple of senior tailbacks that run the football for these teams, and Ennis Haywood, tell you, first team all Big 12 selection this year. Tell you, he's a great running back for the Iowa State Cyclones, and I tell you, Iowa, their running back as well, Liddell Betts, leads that football team very well. He has great vision, and I tell you, a lot of good running here today.
Well, Gary, there is a lot on the line. Iowa State is looking for their fourth consecutive win over Iowa. If they do win, a lot will depend on their quarterback, Seneca Wallace. When we return to Ames, we will talk more about the junior sensation for the Iowa State Cyclones. Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. By Citgo, your neighborhood Citgo is proud to support today's athletes. Citgo, we know you. By Southwestern Bell, the official telecommunications company of the Big 12. And by Sonic Drive-Ins and your friends at Dr. Pepper. It has turned out to be a beautiful day in Ames, Iowa. Jack Trice Stadium, a crowd of over 50,000 expected to be on hand. The stadium only holds 43,000. Everybody in Iowa is at this football game as the seniors are being introduced in the center of the field. But Gary, let's talk about Seneca Wallace, first of all, the quarterback for Iowa State. He is the catalyst of this team. And Kurt Ferentz, the coach of Iowa, telling us on Wednesday, we have problems stopping guys like him. Wallace is extremely talented.
Well, he's very quick. He's an athletic quarterback. He's that X factor in this football game. He throws the ball very well. Hey, he may have a stronger arm than Sage Rosenfels, who graduated a year ago. And when they put that combination together, a very, very potent offensive attack. He's the Big 12 newcomer of the year already. Hey, he's going to have an excellent opportunity to display his talents today.
Now, Iowa will have their hands full containing Seneca Wallace. Iowa State looking to make it 4 in a row over the Hawkeyes. We'll have the opening kickoff right after this. Both teams coming in with identical 6-4 records overall. Kurt Ferentz in his third year at Iowa, they won the toss, and for the 28th consecutive game, the Iowa Hawkeyes will be starting out on offense. He has helped turn his program around. But when you talk about turnarounds, none better in the country than what Dan McCarney has done in his 7 years, taking him to a bowl game last year, winning their first bowl game ever. And he is looking for bigger and better things today. There you see Khalil Hill and C.J. Jones. They'll be back to return the kick. Once again, Iowa will be going into a very stiff Stiff breeze here in this opening quarter. Tony Yelk, just a freshman out of Arlington, Wisconsin, as Dan McCarney telling us yesterday, singing the praises of this young man. Gary Reasons, Ron Thulin from Ames, and we are underway. A low side winding kick, and it'll bound into the end zone, and that's where Iowa will let it go, and they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The quarterback for Iowa, averaging almost 36 points a game and over 400 yards offense. Their quarterback is McCann. He'll play the first couple of series. Then we will see Brad Banks come in. Running backs and wide receivers. If you're Iowa State, you're going to have to contain, well, first of all, the line. Bruce Nelson anchors the line. And of the running backs and the wide receivers, Iowa State will have to contain number 3, Khalil Hill, his senior year, having a tremendous senior season. Iowa starts out, 2 men in the backfield. Man in motion is Oliver. Keep it on the ground. Straight ahead running, it's Betts. Mark Timmons making the tackle, but not before Betts gets the first down through that Iowa State defense that's ranked 90th against the run. Lineups brought to you by Singular as we take a look at the line for Iowa State. Jordan Karsten, 3rd team All Big 12, announced last night. In the linebackers, Matt Word, 3-year starter, leads the team in tackles. In the secondary, Timmons made the last tackle. Small in stature, but he is a big hitter. 1st and 10 for the Hawkeyes on their own 35-yard line. This time, Betts is going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage.
Ron, you can see early on here from the first 2 plays of the ball game what we're going to see all day here from this Iowa Hawkeye club. They want to run the football. They want to get their big tailback, Liddell Betts, in motion inside the tackles. Do a good job. First play on the ISO play, bring it up there to the Cyclone defense. Hey, if they're going to execute well today running the football, it's going to open the passing game for Kyle McCann.
And Betts is the workhorse. He is one of the best in the conference. Last year, over 1,000 yards. Coming off a 171-yard performance last week versus Minnesota. 2nd and 10 for the Hawkeyes. McCann will put it up for the first time. Looks over the middle, dumps it underneath. Pass is complete up to the 42-yard line. Khalil Hill on the reception.
It doesn't look like a whole lot there on the reception, but what they did was they got a confidence play for your quarterback, bring Khalil Hill across the field underneath the linebackers, get him into the game as well. I talked to their offensive coordinator, Ken O'Keefe, and he said, hey, we want to get our offensive guys into the game. That's Liddell Betts and Khalil Hill. And McCann has to throw the ball well, which he does on his first try.
Well, Hill, 34 consecutive games. The senior out of Iowa City has had a reception. That's his career numbers. Impressive. 3rd down and 3. McCann, 5-step drop, looks over the middle, flush from the pocket, still looking. Pass complete up to the 49-yard line. Again, it is Khalil Hill. His 2nd reception. We saw, I think, the resilience and the patience of Kyle McCann on that play.
Well, the senior quarterback been around the program a lot. He knows what to do. Good protection up front. Watch the offensive line, giving him good vision. Hey, he's just going to find his number 1 guy, Khalil Hill, who works away from the defenders underneath. They do a good job of getting the first down.
Tyson Smith, a right defensive end, came up to make the stop. Kirk Ferentz, brought up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was on the Iowa staff along with Dan McCarney when Hayden Fry was the head football coach. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Opening possession for the Hawkeyes, and it's a good one. Go back to the bread and butter. It is Betts, the senior out of Blue Springs, Missouri. Jordan Karstens from that defensive tackle spot jams him up. You know, let's talk about that Iowa State defense. You know, Gary, last year they had some players like Reggie Haywood and Reed, and these guys were stout. But Dan McCarney lost his starting defensive line. He lost 6 defensive backs. Has had to retool, and defensive coordinator John Spalding couldn't be prouder the way these guys have really gelled this year.
They really have. They've played a lot better as the season has progressed, and we saw Jordan Karstens make a tackle there. He leads that defensive front up there, and their linebackers have played solid so far late in this season.
Well, they've got to keep Iowa off schedule, but right now they are on schedule after picking up 4 on the first down play. 2nd and 6. Betts again will try the left side. Bounces off 1 tackle inside the 45 down to about the 42-yard line. First hit came up from Justin Eilers, that weak side linebacker, the senior out of Boise, Idaho. Betts is a workhorse, though, Gary.
Well, he's a guy that's going to run it in there time in and time out. He's got good body control, good pounding ability in there. He's 225 pounds, a little bigger than what they've got him listed there. And he runs into that defense, and he delivers the blow instead of the defenders knocking him back.
Well, 3rd down conversions have not been a problem for either team. Iowa's at 50% on the year. This time they're facing 3rd and 2. Iowa State was 7 in the box. McCann looking in the flat, pumps one, has a go pattern, and he overthrows Oliver. McCann took a hit right after he let the ball go. Harold Cluess was on the coverage, but that was pretty good defense by the Cyclones.
It really was. They brought everybody in. They wanted to work a one-man route to the outside so they could get behind the defense. Good job that time by the Cyclones secondary, just reacting on the throw and making a good play on the football.
And there is Michael Wagner set to return the kick, standing at his own 10-yard line. Good snap off the side of his foot. Gets a great Iowa State bounce, stops at the 20-yard line, so Bradley's punt didn't go very far. And Iowa State will have possession of the ball in their own 20. We have a full house in Ames. We're ready, and we're scoreless. Now the fans are glad the rain has stopped, because 2 hours ago we were drowning frogs here in Ames, Iowa. They take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. This Iowa State offense averaging just about 28 points a game. Having a big effort last week against Kansas. Haywood, the lone setback. They'll go with a one-back set throughout most of the game. Wallace puts it up in the flat, complete. First down, Iowa State, inside over the 30, up to the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at the singular lineups again, the Iowa State offense. And, of course, the quarterback, the X factor we have talked about, Seneca Wallace. Iowa's had problems with this type of quarterback because of his athletic ability. And the line is anchored by Marcel Howard. He is the best blocker. He is going to be on Aaron Campman for most of the day. Running backs and wide receivers look for Lane Danielson, the leading receiver, to help open things up for the running of Ennis Haywood. 3 wide receivers to the left as they go to a 4 wide receiver set. And they keep it on the ground. Haywood bangs his way over the 35 up to the 38-yard line. As we take a look at the Iowa defense, first of all, on that defensive line, the man that everybody talks about is Aaron Campman, former linebacker. He is by far the best defensive lineman on this team. We'll call his name out a lot today. Linebackers, solid core of linebackers. Roger Myers is the leader on this linebacking core. And in the secondary, much improved. Sapp and Sanders are the best covers and the biggest hitters on the team. Pickup of 5 on the play, so Iowa State stays on schedule. 2nd and 5, 2 wide receivers set to the left. Iowa with a 5-man defensive line. Wallace will run the option. This is where he's dangerous. 40 up to the 43-yard line, shoved out of bounds, close to a penalty. He was well out of bounds when he was shoved out by Derek Pagel.
Well, you see the athletic ability of the quarterback coming around the corner. Seneca Wallace, you'll see him here, just a down-the-line option. He's going to read to the outside. Hey, he can turn it up here, but he decides to bring it to the corner, and he's got the speed to be able to do that. You see him hit out of bounds there by Pagel. They did not have a flag on that questionable call. The line judge, the field judge, is right there who makes the call.
Now the first 12 plays of Iowa State's offense is scripted. The first 15 plays, Iowa State's history tells us that they're not afraid to throw a gadget play in there.
But what they want to do is create balance, running the football and throwing the football. And they've had success with everything they've done so far, Ron.
Well, now the tight end, Mike Banks, runs over to the right side. Danielson wide to the right. Ennis Haywood, nothing doing, leans forward, may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. And Aaron Campman, the senior out of Kelsey, Iowa, with the stop.
And Campman just tracks from the backside, does a good job coming through there. If you're not going to block him on the backside, he's going to slide down the line to make play after play on Haywood. Stop him back in the backfield.
Kyle Knock is checked into the game at tight end. What a great story, though, for Campman. Comes from a town of 80 people. 2 streets that run north-south, 2 streets that run east-west, and he has a stoplight. Just an all-American young man. Danielson now wide to the right on 2nd down and 9. Campbell in motion. They run the reverse to Campbell, looking for a block. Haywood tries to seal it off. Campbell inside the 50. We'll mark it right at the 50-yard line. Pagel again coming up, the junior out of Plainfield, Iowa, to make the stop. Now we talked about the gadget plays, Gary, the first 15, and we saw our first one.
Well, when you take your tight end and you make him a blocker, you're going to watch Banks come around and watch his serviceable block. It's not going to be an overpowering block, but number 31 Banks stays on it. That's the contact that you need to get your receiver around the corner. And then Campbell has the speed to make a good play here for the Cyclones.
3rd down and 3. On third down, Iowa State is at 47%. Both teams very effective on third down. 3 wide receivers to the left. 3-step drop. Wallace fires it. First down, complete to Danielson. Finally dragged down at the 40. Danielson with his 44th catch of the year. He is the big play receiver for this Iowa State team. DJ Johnson on the coverage.
Well, a quick step drop here, a 3-step step for the quarterback Wallace to get back and throw the ball on timing. If you're going to block that defensive lineman Campbell, number 54 here on the bottom of your screen, go ahead and use your offensive tackle and give Seneca Wallace a chance to throw the football. The best pass rusher they have is going to be Campbell from the outside, but if you handle him that way, Seneca Wallace can have vision and see the lanes down the field.
I was talking to Steve Loney, the offensive coordinator. So you're going to run away from Campbell? Said, no, we're going to go right at him at times. Not afraid. 1st and 10 from the Iowa 40 for the Cyclones. Play action. Wallace looking deep, has a man, pass, complete to Campbell, down to the 1-yard line. The senior out of Santa Fe Springs, California, his 27th catch of the year. But what a pass by Wallace, Gary.
Well, Seneca Wallace running to his left. That's the unique thing about it. He's going to come here and throws across his body. Hey, watch the strength of his arm and the delivery. He just is right there where the receiver has to catch the football. Campbell's come up with a couple of good grabs here for the Cyclones.
Iowa State very effective in the red zone. 29 touchdowns and 44 attempts. They're 35 of 44 overall. 1st and goal from the 1. High formation. First man through. The fullback, still no signal. Joe Woodley cannot find Pater. Boy, when you're 1st and goal on the 1 with Wallace, boy, the options available, Gary, are just like endless.
Well, they've been so productive on 3rd down and 4th down. It's a very similar situation in the goal line area. When you need just a short yard or two, your quarterback, who is the X factor, can run the football, throw the football. Plus, you got a big banging tailback and Haywood back there. You got a lot of choices to go with.
Well, they got 2 tight ends. Banks and Kyle Knock have checked into the ball game. Haywood, the tailback. Lane Danielson will come to the near side. Woodley's the fullback. Haywood looking for a seam. Oh, he's hit and dumped at the 3-yard line. Great penetration by Mike Dolezal. First of all, the senior out of Minnesota.
Well, when you toss it on the goal line, you want to win the corner, and they did not win it because Iowa took over the corner and they won it. And watch Dolezal, number 39, just take the backside here. We're looking at Wallace, but the play fake held our cameraman. But Mike Dolezal does a nice job of playing behind the ball carrier and running inside and making a good play in the backfield. A 2-yard loss, which brings up a key 3rd down here in the goal line.
They started on about the 1-yard line. They are back to the 3, and it's 3rd down and goal. Whitaker and Danielson on the near side. Haywood, the lone setback. Look out. Wallace over the middle. Touchdown, Iowa State. Lane Danielson. His 4th touchdown reception of the year, and for Wallace, that is his 11th throw.
Well, the quarterback just takes what the defense gives him. It's going to be a read out. You're going to see Danielson come in and work back out to the outside. An easy throw and an easy grab. A lot of space to work with. You bring your secondary defender inside that Smith, and you can't stay with him because he's got too much ground to cover.
So important in rivalry games to get on the scoreboard first, keep the crowd in the football game. That was a concern for Iowa. Yelk with the extra point. And he is 37 of 38 on the year. Dan McCarney likes it, and the Iowa State fans like also. Danielson with a touchdown reception, and the Cyclones have the early lead. Welcome back to Ames, Iowa. Along with Gary Reasons, I'm Ron Thulin, and Iowa State the first to strike just at the 7:09 mark of the opening quarter. 7-0 is our score. That took them just about 3:53 to go, 80 yards. They did it in 10 plays. But the key play, of course, was Seneca Wallace to Danielson that got him down to the 1-yard line. Iowa State has won 3 straight, matches its longest streak ever over Iowa. Of course, the teams didn't play between 1935 and 1976. But they're playing now. Khalil Hill and C.J. Jones back for the Hawks. High sidewinding kick with the win, and that'll go out of the end zone, and Iowa will take over on their own 20. Let's go back to that key play. The key, the way Wallace threw across his body.
It really is. He rolls to his left and throws across his body. Got the play fake inside. It's play action. Everything is working to his left. And watch the delivery of this football. He gets up there to Campbell, number 19, who gets behind Bob Sanders. Very, very good throw. Gets him down to the 1-yard line. 3 plays later, it's a touchdown for the Cyclones.
Well, Dan McCarney knew that this Iowa offense can be very potent. And he is concerned about the fact they do have 2 quarterbacks. It's Khalil Hill and Chris Oliver. Now the wide receivers to the left. They keep it on the ground. Pads are popping. Betts gets stood up. Jeremy Lloyd, the junior out of Pittsburgh, Texas, and Tyler Junior College coming up from that outside linebacker spot for this Iowa State defense.
You talked about pads popping. You're going to hear a lot of that today. This is a rivalry. Yeah. This is a game. Hey, it was supposed to be played in the middle of the year. The events of our country was postponed to the end of the season. Hey, this game means something. Both teams are playing to improve their spots and their bowl possibilities for the end of the year. These guys are playing all out today, and nothing less from Jeremy Lloyd, who makes a big hit on that play.
Well, every bowl scout is here. The Alamo Bowl, Gallery Furniture, the Independence Bowl is here, Insight.com. The possibilities for both teams are endless. Betts left side, finds a little seam and crosses the 30 up to the 33-yard line. And again, Jeremy Lloyd on the stop. Betts has only averaged in the 3 previous games against Iowa State about 62 yards against this Cyclone team.
Well, what he's got now, he's got a better offensive line, Ron. The offensive line has improved. He got some serviceable guys in there at guard because they've had some injuries, but right now they're getting pad on pad and creating some holes. And you see the shake and bake that Betts has, enough ability to elude guys, and he's got great vision. That's the thing about it that makes him a key running back.
Well, you mentioned that offensive line. When Kirk Ferentz came to Iowa, he did not have an offensive line, to be honest with you. They have done a great job building it up. They'll stay with the ground game, straight ahead, nothing doing. Matt Ward is right there to meet Liddell Betts. Ward, the junior out of Miami, Florida.
Matt Ward on the hit for the Cyclones.
Well, Ward is a man in the middle. He makes a lot of plays with his defense. He's the leading tackler. He's a very athletic guy. He's a good. He runs the football real well. That's what I like about him, and fills the hole pretty well also. But it's not easy tackling Liddell Betts. He's 5'11", 220 pounds. He's got enough shake and bake, as I talked about earlier, to elude guys, so it's hard to get a square hit on him.
2nd down and 10 for the Hawkeyes. Iowa State sneaking up. McCann is going to check the play. They keep it on the ground, dancing around again. The workhorse, Liddell Betts, as Jordan Karstens comes up to make the stop. You know, Gary, when you talk about Liddell Betts and having seen him play the last 3 years, there's a guy that has never complained, continues to work hard, is the team leader. Every yard, you look at the yardage this young man has gotten, they're hard yards.
They really have been. His whole career, he hasn't had the greatest offensive line to work with in front of him, but he hasn't complained a bit, and he comes out there every day and practices to improve. And Liddell Betts, who's out of the game now, but he is the heart and soul of that offensive running game.
3rd down and 4, and Iowa will go to the 3 wide receiver set. Best in the Big Ten on 3rd downs. McCann, very little pressure. Now he sees it, dumps it off. 1st down, Iowa. Complete to C.J. Jones, and he gets into Iowa State territory. Well, you talk about McCann being resilient. He is very poised back there.
Well, Kyle McCann has good protection up front here. He watches the field. He sees 3-4 guys, and he finds C.J. Jones coming on a smash route from the other side of the field to get the 1st down for the Hawkeyes. But that's a good job by the quarterback. A couple of plays ago, Ron, he did something that we will not see when Banks is in the game. He audibled at the line of scrimmage. When Brad Banks is in the football game, they're going to go with what's called. But Kyle McCann, the senior, been around the program. He can check and put him into a better play.
Well, Iowa had a pretty good drive going the opening series, only to have it stalled. Betts back in. This time he's going to be stacked up right at the 45, or Draving, I should say. Draving is stacked up at the 45-yard line. Maybe a pickup of 3. Jeremy Lloyd coming up to make the stop. He's the big playmaker and the very vocal leader of this defense.
And we talked with John Skladany about how do you approach this offense defensively. They're the coordinator here at Iowa State. We talked about whether or not he's going to blitz. He might use some situational blitzes against Kyle McCann, but when you've got another quarterback in there who has more athletic ability running around, you can't do that. So right now the Cyclones are just trying to find the best way to stop this Iowa offense.
They haven't even gone to the wide receivers per se, and Iowa has a distinct height advantage in that position. Now they're going to try it. Here comes the blitz. McCann is going to be sacked. Back at the 42-yard line by Matt Ward, his second sack of the year, and only the 15th given up by that Hawkeye offensive line.
Well, this is one that Kyle McCann, when he sees the tape of this game, he should think, I should throw this football. Matt Ward's number 7 going to come inside, but he's got Khalil Hill on an easy little slim post route wide open. He should have tossed it down there. Take a look. You're going to see Hill come into the screen on the right side. He is wide open. The linebackers cannot even extend to get to him. Good play that time, though, by the Cyclones, and making a big play in the backfield in the sack if you're linebacker Matt Ward.
Well, they're not taking the crowd out of the game, that's for sure. 5 defensive backs in now for Iowa State. Hill and Oliver wide to the left for Iowa. McCann slips a little bit, has to dump it underneath. Penalty flag is thrown. Pass is complete to Betts. He's stacked up at the 50, well short of the first down. Penalty flag thrown in the Iowa backfield would make one believe that it is a holding call.
Well, John Skladany has decided to put some pressure on the quarterback as we see the holding call. You're going to have to pressure Kyle McCann because he does have a good arm, an accurate arm. He's a big intellect guy back there at the quarterback spot. He makes the right choice, the right decision. Only has 10 interceptions on the year, Ron, and that's pretty good for a guy who's played a lot of football.
Well, let's see what happens, because probably Iowa State will just find this.
Holding offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, it'll bring up a 4th down.
Well, when you pressure the quarterback, number 92, Jordan Carson's in the middle here. He has 24 quarterback hurries on the season. Just kind of get a grab in there, and he might spin around. He needs to put pressure on the quarterback. He's done the best for the Cyclone defense this year.
Wagner is back. Bradley to kick it away, and again off the side of his foot. Wagner's telling everybody to get away. And again, another bad punt by Iowa. You know, when you talk about tight games, it comes down to turnovers and special teams, and that might be the case today. 2:27 left in the first. The Cyclones have the advantage over the Hawkeyes. Beautiful day for football in Ames, Iowa, but that was not the case just about 2.5 hours ago. This is what it looked like about 9:30 this morning. I mean, it was coming down, folks. It was cold, but about an hour ago, the clouds broke, and it became a beautiful day. Gary Reason's round through and with you. Iowa State leading 7-0. Going back to work offensively, and there is Mike Banks, the tight end, and he may be hurt. We've got some pushing and shoving on the sidelines. Fred Barr getting into it.
Yeah, he went out hard on the sideline. I'm telling you, I'm impressed with Mike Banks. 2 plays here early in this football game. One on the first drive that Iowa State has the football and making a key block as well. They're going to utilize that tight end in this offense. Steve Loney, their offense coordinator, said they're going to get him.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
And that's an easy 15 yards for the Cyclones to get down the field. But back to my point, Steve Loney, their offensive coordinator, said, hey, we're going to get our guys the football. Mike Banks, the senior, 18 catches on the year, doing a good job for him. And hey, take a look here, out of bounds, and got the late hit.
Boy. You know,
not a real flagrant hit, but he probably has lost his balance. But Banks on the ground, unprotected, you got to throw the flag.
Boy, in a game like this tight, you got to keep your composure. Jamal Montgomery is checked into the lineup for Iowa State. 1st down and 10 on 45-yard line. Wallace from the shotgun. He's going to keep it. Looking in the flat, has a man, is complete to Whittaker. Inside the 50 down to the 47-yard line. Jack Whittaker, the sophomore out of Grinnell, Iowa, the walk-on.
Well, when you can call plays where you can roll your quarterback right or left, and Seneca Wallace, he's not left-handed, but he throws well rolling to his left. Just throwing on time, and you got the zone defense with the Hawkeyes back there, and hey, it's just easy picking for Seneca Wallace right now.
When you talk about this Iowa State offense, how it has improved each of the last 4 years. 1997, they were 83rd in the NCAA overall. Now they're up to 23. And a lot of it has to do with the play of Sage Rosenfels, who's now with the Washington Redskins, and this man, Seneca Wallace. And we have some jumping and dancing around. And of course, the penalty flags will be thrown.
Delay game offense. 5 yards. 2nd down.
You know, I thought it was funny, Gary, talking to Dan McCarney yesterday, and he said, you know, Seneca Wallace at the beginning of the year said, Coach, I've never played in a rain game. He's out in Sacramento, California, where it's always beautiful. They go to the Missouri game this year. All of a sudden, it's the drowning kind of weather. And he fared quite well.
And he's thinking, hey, when they play up here in October, November, it could be snow on the ground. He
he's
hasn't had to
lucky.
see any of that. He's been lucky so far this year.
This old Sacramento Bee, he's lucky it's not 40 degrees and snowing right now. Able to try the right side. He'll be stacked up right at the 50-yard line. Maybe a gain of about 1 on the play, and things are getting a little testy now. Once again, Fred Barr is in the middle of it, along with Jerry Montgomery for Iowa. I love rivalry games. You know, we have Oklahoma State today. Arizona State was yesterday. These rivalry games, this is what football's all about.
And it's good that this one is at the end of the year. We talked about it earlier. It normally would have been in the middle of the season. A lot of people say, hey, why don't you have this Iowa State Classic at the end of the season? It just doesn't fit with what they do in the Pac-10, the Big Ten, and also the Big 12.
Well, the Big Ten won't allow them to do it. But for 1 year we are. Wallace will throw it up for grabs. A lot of pushing and shoving. No penalty flag is thrown. Incomplete. Intended for Craig Campbell. DJ Johnson, the junior out of Naperville, Illinois, was step for step with him.
Well, DJ has to play well out there. He's out on the island. He's got Campbell man-to-man. Seneca Wallace, this is one ball that just sails on him. He does have the wind at his back. It's aiding the football, and you see it turn there. I tell you, when a ball turns like that in midair, you know that the wind is pushing it, and that's what happens there.
That's they're saying the pass was not catchable. Tony Yelks, low snap. Nice high spirally kick. Khalil Hill will just let it bounce at the 1, and they'll go into the end zone. Well, Iowa has not had all that great field position to start the game, and they've been affected by bad punting on their effort.
Well, when you punt the football with the wind, into the wind, it's going to be tough. They were around midfield both times punting the football and didn't have good results. The wind is blowing from the right to left across the field as we look at it. You're looking here from the south end zone. The wind is blowing directly this way into the team that's coming at them, which is Iowa at this time.
Now, we thought that Kyle McCann would play a couple of series, and we'd see Brad Banks, and that's who is in the lineup right now. Banks, the junior out of Belle Glades, Florida, and Hines Community College. He's more of a runner. Now Hill and Oliver wide to the left. Banks is going to throw it. Rifles the pass. Hill makes the reception. Bobbles it, but did catch it. Maybe picked up a yard on the play. Adam Runk, the senior out of Stillwater, Minnesota, lowered the boom. And there's Brad Banks.
If you talked about it, maybe a better runner. He really is a better runner than Kyle McCann, as you see him on the bootleg pass there. But interesting, though, when they talk to us about him, his arm is just as strong, but not better.
Well, we have completed the first 15 minutes of play. Iowa State. It's exactly the way we thought it would be. Betts has done his job, but Iowa State has the lead, 7-0 after 1. Welcome back to the Big 12 Game of the Week, presented by Dr. Pepper. Iowa State leading 7-0, and the team in this series that has led after the first quarter has won 10 of the last 11 meetings. That's your history lesson today, Gary. Along with Gary Reasons, I'm Ron Pillin. Iowa with the football. Brad Banks is the quarterback. 2nd down and 7 as we begin quarter number 2. Keep it on the ground. Big hole over that right side, and Liddell Betts again blowing through that defensive line of Iowa State. Matt Ward has to make the game-saving tackle.
Well, what you do when another quarterback comes in the football game and give it to your big guy up front, Liddell Betts, spread your offense out. You're going to have Brad Banks in there, and you're going to throw the football down the field. You're thinking defensively, but get your running back, Liddell Betts, moving north and south. It's a real potent attack.
Well, here's our Citgo trivia question. Iowa State, 2 straight winning seasons. Who was their coach the last time they had back-to-back winning seasons in 77 and 78? I know it. They didn't give me the answers. 1st and 10 from the 36. Banks' second pass of the afternoon. Rifles the pass, complete right at the first down marker. And Khalil Hill, who's having another great afternoon with reception.
3 catches already for Khalil, doing a good job of pushing the defenders back, and a confidence throw for Brad Banks. Coming back to your quarterback and letting him get set and throw the football down the field. Brad Banks is a real versatile player, Ron. He's a real strong arm thrower. He's also very versatile with his feet. He's the X factor, kind of like they use Seneca Wallace with the Cyclones.
Eric Jensen, the big tight end, is checked into the lineup. Dallas Clark is out. 1st and 10 from the 47. C.J. Jones to the near side for the Hawkeyes. 4 to snap it. Second man through. A little bit of running room in Iowa State territory. Again at his best, Anthony Forrest, the redshirt freshman, coming up from that free safety spot out of Fort Worth, Texas, has to bring down the big Liddell Betts.
Well, watch your left guard here. Andy Lightfoot doing a good job of creating space here for Betts. You're just going to be the ISO play. When you can move the defensive lineman that far around and get your fullback with the lead block, it's going to give your offensive tailback a chance to make positive yardage. He just gets right in behind those big guys, and that's where you want to operate offensively.
Well, Betts already with 62 yards in this football game. Second down and 3. Straight ahead running again, it is Aaron Grevin, the sophomore from right here in Ames, Iowa. Justin Eilers coming up from that linebacker spot to make the stop.
And Aaron Grevin's no slouch himself.
No.
33 carries this year. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry, 6.3 yards, and he's the changeup. As you take a look at Liddell Betts, who's on the sideline and taking pretty good contact in there. Hey, this is going to be a physical football game, and these big tailbacks are running in there. They're going to get popped.
Well, they're looking at that right shoulder as you look at the numbers. Not bad. How about 6.3 yards a carry this year? First and 10 from the Iowa State 40. Little play action. Banks, plenty of time. Flushed again. Looking, and he is going to be sacked. The second sack of the afternoon by Iowa State. Kevin Durante, his second sack of the season.
Well, that's just persistence by Durante. Hey, great coverage that time in the secondary by the Cyclones. Take away everything the quarterback wants to throw to. Brad Banks, hey, he's going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers. Nobody's there. The play action holds the linebackers. No, we're going to go back and cover. So Banks says, hey, I'm going to let my big guys up front here do something for me, but they can't hold Durant out, who makes a great sack. This is an effort sack, number 99. Take a look at him here. He's just going to continue to the quarterback.
Well, loss of 9 on the play. Second and 19 is Jeremy Allen, the lone setback. He has the football right side. Running room. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, +3. Ateef Austin, a junior out of Tarpon Springs, Florida, making the stop. So Jeremy Allen, who's had only 42 carries for the season coming into today, makes good on this one.
Yeah, it really does. A bruising fullback, 240-pounder. Take a look at him here on the outside. He just kind of runs over the defender. That's Austin Ateef. Hey, that's a pretty good run there. Hey, I'll tell you who's the most happy guy about that play is Ken O'Keefe, our offensive coordinator, and now it's a better chance at 3rd and 7 to operate.
You can see Iowa State already with a couple of sacks. 3rd down and 7. Crowd extremely loud. The blitz. Look out. Banks throwing into nobody in particular, and it is incomplete, but he was running for his life. Everybody was coming in. Tyson Smith, the sophomore from Des Moines, led the chase.
Well, the Cyclones go with what I call zero coverage. They've got nobody back deep. It's all man-to-man, and they're going to bring the house. They cannot account for everybody on defense, so Banks has to be the guy to throw it away, and luckily he's able to throw it in the area of a receiver. Otherwise, that would have been grounding.
Michael Wagner, deep to receive.
Michael Wagner, deep to receive. Well, they're going to try the field goal. They're going to spot it at the 45-yard line. It's a 55-yarder into the wind for Nate Cady.
I saw him warming up, Ron, with the wind at his back. He's more than capable of making this kick.
8 of 10 this year, and he slips and falls and goes down. And the kick is no good. He never got that left foot down, and the sophomore from Coralville, Iowa, no good, but it really wasn't his fault. We've got a timeout, 11:20 left in quarter number 2. A battle with Iowa and Iowa State. Cyclones have the advantage. First time since 1977-78, Iowa State has put together back-to-back winning seasons. This is a school that won only 27 games total in the 90s. Coming into today's game, 6-4, bowl eligible, and they lead. Along with Gary Reasons, I'm Ron Thulin. Welcome to Ames, Iowa. 2 tight ends with Banks and Kyle Knox. 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line is where Iowa State will begin play here in quarter number 2. Wallace with the option. Haywood trailing, has the pitch. Fumbles the football, but he was already out of bounds. Haywood has fumbled only once in his entire career, and that was recovered by one of his teammates. But you look at the fumbles for Iowa State, it is so impressive. It's unbelievable.
Really, only 2 fumbles the entire season that they've lost. Actually, their tailbacks have not lost a fumble in the last 55 games. We take a look at the trivia answer.
Well, here's the question. 2 straight winning seasons. Who was the coach in 77, 78? The answer is Earl Bruce. Iowa State, 73 to 78. Great trivia question. Who fouled Earl Bruce here? It was Donnie Duncan now with the Big 12 Conference. Pickup of 3 on the play. Haywood, left side, and he is hit hard as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Dennis Haywood out of Dallas Carter High School.
Tackled by number 54.
5th all-time Iowa State rushing the football. His career average over 5 yards a carry. Only Troy Davis has a better average. But he's so powerfully built at 5'11", 220. Definitely a north-south runner, though.
No doubt about it. He's got the power. He's got the ability to run long as well. Big 12 Player of the Week a week ago with 4 touchdowns.
That brings up a 3rd down and 6 situation. Wallace will go to the shotgun. Lance Young to the near side for Iowa State. Looks right, looks over the middle, pass is complete. 1st down, Iowa State. Danielson is stacked up, but he did get the first. Bob Sanders from that strong safety spot, the sophomore out of Erie, Pennsylvania, making the stop. And not before Daniels made the reception, his 2nd of the game.
You know, when we talked to Dan McCarney, I asked him about Seneca Wallace, their quarterback, and how was it that a guy who's as talented as he is at the quarterback position hasn't been able to been discovered? He went to Sac City Junior College for a couple of years and really didn't have a lot of people recruiting him. Take a look at Lane Danielson's numbers on the season. A productive receiver for him, but Seneca Wallace is a guy who didn't have a lot of lookers, but they took him here with open arms at Iowa State, and I think Dan McCarney's been more than pleased. I'd
say so. Well, New Mexico State, and it's the only one that really went after him hard. A lot of people did after. Haywood is hog-tied big time by DJ Johnson. But you know, that's a case of a lot of quarterbacks, though. You know, they're unknown commodities, and nobody's quite sure about them. But when Boy Wallace has made his definite impression of the Big 12 newcomer of the year offensively.
Well, I tell you, when he comes in here to this football team, they're a running football team. So what that does, it takes the pressure off of the quarterback, and Dan McCarney wants to run the football. But Seneca Wallace, he throws the ball well. He runs the ball outside. I tell you, he is excellent around the edge.
Well, he's going to call a timeout with 8:51 left in quarter number 2. Not sure what he saw in the Iowa defense. We'll step aside. Iowa State leads by 7. Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. And one of the Native American statues that are part of this Iowa State campus in Ames. Clouds have come back in, but they say the rain is going to hold off. Hopefully, won't have one of those gully washers we had earlier today. Glad you're with us on this Saturday after Thanksgiving. 7-0, Iowa State leading. Wallace looks over the middle. Pass is complete down to the 25-yard line. Mike Banks, the senior out of Ogden, Iowa. Well, Gary, you talked about him. You were impressed. He doesn't have great hands, but he's got solid hands.
Well, Mike Banks is your tight end. He's going to work into the middle of the field. He's left open, and Seneca Wallace, after the play fake, just threads it through there. You're going to have zone coverage. The safeties are separated. He gets inside of the linebacker. Seneca Wallace has a great lane to throw the football, and I tell you, Mike Banks has made a couple of nice plays today.
That's his 3rd reception of the ball game, and Iowa State again on the move offensively. 1st and 10 from the Iowa 25-yard line. And they're doing it without much of a running game. Here's Haywood. Stacked up. You know, you look at the numbers, it is very telling, the success that Ennis Haywood has had. In the wins, he averages just about 149 yards on the ground, and the losses, just 50. Prior to that run, he had only 13 yards on 7 carries. Is that a good omen for Iowa State, or do they have to start finding a way to open it up on the ground?
Well, over time, it's going to open it up. If you throw the ball down the field, the defense is going to relax and have to take care of the receivers going down the field, and that will open it up for Haywood. This offense works by combination, running the football, throwing the football. Dan McCarney wants balance.
3 wide receiver set on 2nd and 7. Iowa yet to blitz in this game, but here they come now with 5. Wallace steps away from it and falls. Good effort by that Iowa defense. Colin Cole coming in from that defensive end spot. The big junior out of Plantation, Florida. That'll be his 3rd sack of the year.
It's tough to blitz an athletic quarterback, but they do here on the outside. You see the pressure, and then the Cyclones, the Hawkeyes coming underneath and making a play from the defensive lineman. But Seneca Wallace, watch him, sir. He misses the first guy, but Cole and company are there to finish him off. The Hawkeyes have to pick their spots when they blitz against him, because when you do and he breaks free, hey, he could go all the way to the house.
First sack of the afternoon for the Hawkeyes. 3rd down and 14 now for Iowa State. Wallace with time into the flat. Pass is complete to Campbell, and he is going to be stacked up. They're going to mark it at about the 25-yard line, which will be 10 yards short of the first down.
When I talked to Norm Parker, the defense coordinator from Iowa, I asked him, I said, give me a definition of your defense. And he said, with no remorse, he said, hey, we're a lunch bucket defense. We're not a fast defense, and we have to play good, sound defensive techniques. And Johnson does there on the outside, who makes a good play and brings up a 4th down now for the Cyclones.
Now Tony Yelk, who does both the punting and the field goal kicking chores, only 7 of 16 on the year. They're going to mark this at the 32-yard line. It'll be a 42-yarder. Casey Baldwin is the holder. Matt Box is the snapper. Into the wind, and that will go nowhere quickly. Well, that was a little Hoyt Wilhelm on that kick. Nice little knuckleball, but it was into a very stiff wind. 6:04 left in the half. It's still Iowa State 7, Iowa nothing. Side the Cyclone and Herky the Hawkeye doing a little
pile drive there.
Yeah, that is. How about this? Then he gets a little help. Herky goes,
Oh, no. Look at this.
That's a little Stone Cold Steve Austin thing.
Well, hey, that's the penalty for missing the tackle. Herky couldn't make the tackle on the Hawk there, so.
Kyle McCann is back into the lineup at quarterback, and from now on, Kirk Ferentz said they usually play it by ear on who's going to be calling the signals. Iowa State moving up to the line of scrimmage. They keep it on the ground with Betts, left side. Betts has had great success this afternoon as Adam Runk brings him down already over 60 yards, and that will probably put him close to 70 yards on the day.
Well, good job that time by the offensive line for Iowa, moving it. Go ahead and stretch the field and use your big running back, spread him out to the outside and just push, and that's what they did that time. And Betts, recipient of some good blocking up there.
Well, Josh Gildani told us, the defensive coordinator of Iowa State, that he wanted to turn it into a throwing game. That hadn't been the case.
Well, you want to go try to turn into a one-dimensional offense coming at you. Make McCann throw the football.
2nd down and 3. Betts this time met right at the line of scrimmage and dropped. Matt Word, who is just doing yeoman's effort today, coming from that middle linebacker spot. Matt, whose cousin Barry Word was a running back in the Kansas City Chiefs organization. His brother Mark plays for Butch Davis, defensive end at the Cleveland Browns.
Well, when linebackers play downhill, that means coming towards the line of scrimmage. That's what you like to see from a defensive player, and Matt Ward does a nice job of getting in there behind the blockers and making a nice tackle in the backfield.
Now, come on, Gary. You were a linebacker with the Giants. You got all the Super Bowl jewelry. You got to love it when you see a guy play like that.
Hey, when a guy plays heads up and plays down and makes plays in the backfield, hey, you know he's reading his cues well.
Jeremy Allen, the lone setback on 2nd and 3. The little hitch pattern is complete. Nothing doing. C.J. Jones paid for it as soon as he caught it. Mark Timmons came up. Matt Ward was in on it.
Well, if you want to destroy a screen pass, this is what you do from the defense here from the Cyclones. Put pressure on the quarterback, take away everything here, and Timmons, number 18, nicely makes a good tackle, clean tackle after he's getting bounced around. C.J. Jones had nowhere to go.
10 men on the line of scrimmage for Iowa State. Bradley's had some problems kicking it, much better this time. Wagner at his 29-yard line, running room, look out. Up to about the 40-yard line, a return of 10. Mike Dolezal on the stop. And we've got a little extracurricular, as they say.
I wouldn't expect anything less in this football game.
No.
These two teams playing with a lot of emotion, a lot at stake here for both of them.
Well, once again, good field position for Iowa State.
They've had it all day. They've converted one time, but Iowa has done a pretty good job just kind of bending on defense and haven't given up any more big plays to the Cyclones.
You know, when Seneca Wallace goes to the line of scrimmage, he has 2 plays. Because it's so complicated, the coaches of Iowa State don't want him to get paralysis of analysis.
That's a good way to say it.
That's a great way of saying it. I mean, they don't want him to freeze up there. Campbell in motion. Ennis Haywood, second leading rusher in the Big 12, has had no place to go all afternoon as Derek Pickens, the senior out of Houston, Texas, and Kilgore Junior College making the stop. Do you keep going to it, though, Gary? Do you keep pounding Haywood and just pounding him, hope one time it'll break?
Well, you do that. You pound it in there, and hey, then you sneak Seneca Wallace around the corner once or twice, and that's what really opens up the offense for the Cyclones. You're going to get some yardage inside with your big tailback, but your quarterback also can run the ball, and he's shown us also that he can throw the ball very well today.
Well, that's a comparison between the two backs we talked about at the top of the show. 4-yard carry difference between Betts and Haywood. Now Wagner and Haywood both in the backfield. Wallace, whoa, what a move! And then he slips. Penalty flag is thrown way back on the other side of the field.
Wallace on the keeper for the Cyclones.
There was some pushing and shoving going on, and we're not sure what's going to be called, but well, it's a chop block below the knees. What a move by Wallace on wet turf, though.
I tell you, if this was on AstroTurf and it was a dry field, I mean, he might make some guy embarrass some defensive players with his quickness. He's going to make you miss, going to make you look really bad.
You could tear something.
Yeah, I tell you, Iowa has played one guy this year, Randall L., who's a similar quarterback.
15 yards, end of the run. Second down.
So they know the type of quarterback that he is and his ability. Take a look here. It's going to be the down the line option. You got a weird play here. He just goes inside, back outside. Golly, I tell you, that's quick feet, and if he has good footing underneath him, it's going to make a big play for the Cyclones.
Well, Mike Dolezal was just frozen in his tracks, and he did a great job of filling the hole. Then just that quickness of Seneca Wallace spun him around. Well, the 15-yard penalty brings up a second down and 22. Ball all the way back at the 27-yard line, and Kirk Ferentz's defense has a chance now to at least hold Iowa State and get some good field position as we go inside of 3 minutes here in quarter number 2. Wallace does a nice job getting the snap, and he's in trouble. Penalty flags all over the place. Wallace might as well just take a seat and scampers out of bounds. And again, great pressure put on by that Iowa defensive line. Aaron Campman's the one who is in hot pursuit.
Well, two things: good pressure by the defensive line and defensive front, but the coverage is good as well. We're going to have a holding here in the backfield for the Cyclones. Yeah, you got to take down there, and Seneca Wallace is going out. You see the umpire throwing the football, the flag, and also the referee as well.
Third penalty against Iowa State. Neither team penalized all that much. They both average about 6 penalties a game. Close to being another late hit by Iowa.
They got a long way to go for the first down. They're going to cross midfield. Going to be at the 49-yard line of Iowa, so it's bringing up a third forever situation here.
But you know, you got to be careful here, Gary. You got 2:43. You don't want to do anything stupid that's going to give Iowa great field position or give them the ball back on their side or your side of the football field.
I think you're going to be punting into the wind, so Iowa, if they're able to stop them here, would get opportunity for good field position. 3rd and 27 after the penalty was declined.
Wallace this time has some protection. Now he's got running room. This is when he's dangerous. Haywood misses the block, and that causes Wallace to go down. Nice play by Grant Steen from that linebacker spot.
That was a good play by Steen on the outside. Didn't take the shake and bake. He just stood there and made the tackle on Seneca Wallace. And Iowa calls timeout here at the late in the second quarter here, trying to save the time on the clock. And so they are able to punt the ball and punt it into the wind and hopefully get a good return on it.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, it was a heads up by Iowa to call timeout immediately and stop it with 2:31. Besides a great play from Steen.
Yeah, it was.
Coming up on our Sonic Halftime Report, we'll talk about the Big 12 Players of the Week. You're watching one of them this afternoon. How about yesterday? My goodness, that Colorado-Nebraska game, long day for Frank Solich and company. We'll go back and take a look at that. And the bowl picture, it's fuzzy, folks, is the best way to put it. You know, you talk to the Iowa people today and their staff, and I said, you know, what's your possibilities? 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8 places they could go, but I tell you, those chances really improve if they win this football game. Really, it's the same for both teams on the bowl picture.
Well, Iowa can finish in a tie for 3rd of the Big Ten if Ohio State and Purdue lose this week. Now, the Purdue-Indiana game, there's some bad weather. They weren't even sure if they were going to get that game underway as of about an hour ago.
Khalil Hill deep for Iowa.
Well, now Khalil Hill, who is one of the most dangerous punt returners in the country, averaging better than 12 yards a return. He is standing on his own 33-yard line. Low snap. This is returnable. Oh, my. Hill let it go, and then he touched it. And it may be Iowa State's ball, and it is. Oh, my. Ellis Hobbs, the true freshman from DeSoto, Texas. But Khalil Hill made an incredible mistake.
Well, Khalil Hill's back there. He's going to try to field this football. The ball bounces. I don't think it hits his foot. Watch it there. I don't think it did. But Khalil, he knows, but he touches it with his right hand. And I tell you, the Cyclones do a good job of picking it up. Take another look at it.
I don't know. That looked like
it's
real close.
Hey, but he knows, because he knows he's going for it.
Yeah.
So he puts his hand up, which is what actually triggers the Cyclones to fall on the football.
What did we talk about, Gary? Special teams, turnovers. How about a turnover on a special team? Boy, a senior shouldn't make that kind of mistake. But it's great field position for Iowa State with plenty of time here in the second. Haywood dancing around, stays on his feet, leans forward down to the 27-yard line. Pickup of about 9 on the play.
Just pound it inside, get 8 or 9 yards with your big tailback in there, Haywood. It's a nice play to set this drive up here, move it down inside. Now you've got a good call, good opportunity to make a unique call here on 2nd and short. You've got the X factor at the quarterback position, or you go back to Betts or throw one down the field and try to get a score here on a big play.
2 wide receivers set for Iowa State. 2nd and 2 from the 28. They keep it on the ground. Haywood blast forward, down inside the 25, down to the 21-yard line. DJ Johnson on the stop, and it's a first down for the Cyclones inside of 145 in a second. You know, we talked about the team that led after the first quarter has won 10 of the last 11. It gets better. The team that leads at halftime in this game has won 11 straight. Not very Ennis Haywood type day. 1st and 10 from the 22. Wallace look in pattern, complete inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Craig Campbell, his 3rd reception of the afternoon, and Iowa State is knocking on the door again.
A good read by Wallace in the quarterback spot. It's a 5-step quick drop. He's going to have a slant pass from the outside to Craig Campbell. He's going to come here and work to the inside, and the quarterback's going to set and throw very easily to him. Nice throw, nice catch, gets inside the 10-yard line, and the Cyclones are knocking on the door.
1st and goal from the 7. 2 tight ends for Iowa State. 65 seconds left in the half. Haywood, left side, looks for Pater, touchdown Iowa State. th rushing touchdown of the year for Ennis Haywood. And thanks to the Khalil Hill error on the punt, Iowa State capitalized.
Watch Marcel Howard, number 75, win the corner there. And Ennis Haywood reads it in the back door and does a nice job of finding the hole for the touchdown.
And then we have, I think, an excessive celebration.
A lot of
unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, it's unsportsmanlike conduct, so the extra point. And this is crucial.
Oh, it really is.
This is huge.
It's a 35-yard extra point into a stiff win.
Now they're going to spot it, as you mentioned, at the 25, 35-yard extra point. And you can see the win, and that's the open end of the stadium. Good snap, good hold, and it is good. 57 seconds left in the half. The Cyclones by 2 touchdowns. Now the mom of Ennis Haywood, who drives every game, every home game up from Dallas, 750 miles. She makes the journey, and Carol Haywood is here to see her son score the touchdown, and they lead 14-0. From about the 8, it's Hill. Still on his feet, trying to make good, and he gets up to the 15 and is swarmed under. Good kickoff coverage by Iowa State, and usually, and that's something we asked Dan McCarney and Kirk Ferentz, that Iowa's usually had the better hand this whole year as far as special teams.
Well, when you kick off into the wind, you can do what they did there and get the ball up real high, and it hangs up, and Khalil Hill comes up to about his 15-yard and only got 3 yards on that return. Good coverage by the Cyclones.
Well, the 36-yard 4-play drive took just under a minute and a half following that Iowa fumble on the punt, and that has given Iowa State the 14-0 lead. But There's a lot of football left. Betts slips and falls and is going to be buried back at the 15-yard line. Let's see if Iowa State will call a timeout. Both have 2 timeouts left.
Well, nothing going here. I'll tell you, the Cyclone defense is playing inspired football. When you have your defensive linemen getting into the backfield and making plays like that, it's going to be a tough day for the Iowa offense. Nice job up front the time by Willie Judd, number 95, breaking through untouched.
Well, there's only a 2-second difference between the game and the snap clock. So one more play for all practical purposes here in the half, and the Iowa State faithful, 50,000 people have jammed into a stadium that seats 43. They've been loving this game. Now McCann's going to call a timeout with 3 seconds left. Interesting. You think you'd just take a knee with your back to the wall? Go ahead and just snap it and take a knee.
Well, that's the safe thing. You just go ahead and take the timeout. Just going to drop back and put the knee down anyway, but it would be a 5-yard penalty. Anything closer to your end zone, you don't want to have happen.
Well, Iowa comes in with a record of 4-4 for Kirk Ferentz. Dan McCartney's team also 4-4 in the Big Ten. They've won 2 straight. Bowl eligible for the first time since 1997. The difference between this year and last year for Iowa. Last year they had only 2 players with 3 years experience. Much more this year. And you can see the series between these two. Iowa leads 14-4 here at Iowa State. Iowa's last win, though, was at 97. That was in Iowa City.
And one thing that Dan McCartney has going for his football team also, they have 11 straight non-conference wins. This would be a 12th if they were able to accomplish that today. This football team has played very well for him over the last couple of seasons. 15 out of the last 22 games, they have pulled victories out of those. And a lot of reason to be impressed here with what he's done with his program. And I know a lot of people here at this program are saying, hey, we're glad that Dan McCartney is here.
He's done it the right way with a great deal of integrity and hard work. Now they'll take the knee, and that'll be the end of the first half. Once again, the team that has led at halftime between these two has won 11 straight. Dan McCartney's team has the 14-0 lead at the end of intermission. When we come back, we'll have the Sonic halftime report. Stay with us from Ames, Iowa. With Iowa State, and we welcome you back to the Sonic halftime report. Time now for the Southwestern Bell Player of the Week. First of all, Gary, let's talk about the offensive player of the week, and it's Ennis Haywood. He had a great game against Kansas, 185 yards rushing, career high, 4 touchdowns, and I think that's the kind of game that Ennis Haywood needed coming into this game. But he was impressive versus the Jayhawks.
He certainly was. He showed the power that he has as a running back, elusive, able to break tackles. He gets better as the game goes on, Ron. He showed it last week, definitely against Kansas, as he ran through the Jayhawk defense. No doubt about his ability and the reason that he is in first team Big 12.
That was definitely a confidence builder for Haywood. Already over 1,000 yards rushing. Big 12 Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Now the Defensive Player of the Week, Darren Williams from Oklahoma State, had a couple of interceptions, returned them for touchdowns versus the Baylor Bears, ties the NCAA record. I tell you, Les Miles needs him today against Oklahoma.
Well, a nice NCAA record for himself, though, but he's got to perform again today when he takes on that Oklahoma offense. They're going to spread the field, and he'll have his chance to do a back-to-back performance.
And we'll be back with more of the Sonic halftime report and the second half from Iowa after this. We welcome you back to the Sonic Halftime Report along with Gary Reasons. I'm Ron Thulin. Iowa State leads at halftime 14-0. But what a day yesterday in the Big 12 Conference. First of all, we take you to College Station, Texas, where the Longhorns hooked it up with
bunch. They're hoping to move up in the BCS standings, Ron.
But here was the shot.
6 touchdowns on the day for the Buffaloes.
And Gary Barnett has thrown a monkey wrench into the BCS, and he is in the Big 12 championship game. And if Oklahoma wins later on this afternoon, they will be playing Colorado. If not, it'll be Texas. And yesterday, 62-36 the final. Texas over A&M 21-7. Game was much closer than that. Illinois, great season, 34-28 over Northwestern. That was from yesterday. And a couple of scores from today. Kansas State in a battle in Manhattan, leading Missouri at halftime. Michigan trails Ohio State in the second. And Minnesota by 7 over Wisconsin. That is also at halftime. Of course, the big game, though, Oklahoma State later today. Halftime in Ames, 50,000 people are enjoying this one. The Sonic Halftime Report continues in a moment. Iowa has put themselves in a 2-touchdown deficit. 14-0 is our score at halftime. Along with Gary Reasons, I'm Ron Thulin. 50,000 people on hand for this ball game. And Gary, at the top of the show, we talked about the X factor being Iowa State's quarterback Seneca Wallace. That is so true after the first 30 minutes.
Well, he hasn't disappointed anybody here in this stadium, I'm telling you that. 10 of 11 passing, 120 yards. He has run this offense very, very well for the Cyclones today. We're going to see more of that in the second half. They've run the ball well. I tell you, Iowa has to do some things offensively to get some progress. They got their big tailback back there running well bets, but I tell you, they need some more production from their quarterback and their passing game.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of the show, there's so much riding on this game. Both teams come in bowl eligible. They're just trying to move up in the bowl picture now. Here is bowl eligible as far as the Big 12 is concerned. 7 teams right now bowl eligible. Flip a coin, right?
Well, when you get 7 wins, which is what Iowa State would like to have, it moves up in the possibilities for them. They move into a tie with Texas A&M for the bowl opportunities in the conference for the Big 12, and the chances that they have are many. There's a lot of different bowls out there that are able to take any of these teams in this conference, and you see the tie-ins. You got the BCS bowls, and you got the Cotton Bowl, the Holiday Bowl. We talked with Iowa State here today. The Alamo Bowl is certainly an opportunity for them. At the Inside.com Bowl a year ago, they won that football game, and also the Independence Bowl. They have a represented here today, Ron.
Well, when you take 30,000 people to a bowl game, you're in a very attractive commodity, but it all really depends on what happens in the Oklahoma State game today, and also the Big 12 championship game next week in Dallas, Texas, which will be Colorado against either OU or Texas. So if you think you've got it figured out, you don't, because it's not going to be figured out till next week, Gary.
It's not going to be figured out for a while, but I tell you, seeing Iowa State play today, it's a lot of fun to watch Seneca Wallace play. That's going to be a factor in the decision-making of these bowl committees for these games.
And, of course, Iowa trying to go to a bowl for the first time since 1997, and hopefully they will get that bid. We're going to step aside when we come back. More from Ames, Iowa. Iowa State leading Iowa 14-0. Welcome back to Big 12 football, presented by Dr. Pepper. That is the statue of Jack Trice, who the stadium is named after, the first black player at Iowa State who was injured and passed away in 1923. It seats 43,000. We have over 50,000 on hand today for this interstate rivalry between Iowa and Iowa State. Iowa State, with this crowd, will average over 45,000 this year. And here's some of the highlights from the opening quarter.
Seneca Wallace showing his ability to throw the ball across his body, lays it up nicely to Craig Campbell to set up the first score of this football game. For Seneca Wallace here, throwing the ball on timing. Third play, bingo. Nice, easy route catch. Iowa trying to get some things done, but I tell you, their linebacker, Matt Ward, does a good job bringing it back in the backfield and making a long day for him. Can't run the football against his defense either. His Word company do a good job of stopping Wells.
That's 67 yards. They did have one opportunity to score, but the slip on the field goal attempt by Kading, and that was about it.
Well, just more defense here by the Cyclones. Ward doing a good job in the middle. This Cyclone defense has played inspired football in the first half.
Dennis Haywood, the final touchdown of the half, breaks over the left side inside of 2 minutes, and Dan McCarney, who's always enthusiastic.
Well, when you take a turnover off the special teams and turn it into points on the board, that's what happened there to end the second quarter, and I'm sure he was very pleased with his offensive performance.
Well, the weather could be changing. The wind has kicked up. The clouds have come in, and there's still plenty of football left. We'll be back to Iowa after this. Well, the temperature, they're saying, is 56 degrees, a 20-30 mile-an-hour wind out of the south. More chance of rain, but right now it hasn't affected the two big running backs. Dennis Haywood of Iowa State, Liddell Betts of Iowa.
The two workhorses for these football teams running the football, and haven't really been disappointed with Dennis Haywood. Betts has not had a chance to get on track, though, in this football game. As we take a look at the first half stats, total yards in the favor of Iowa State, obviously, but points off turnovers is a key here in this football game, giving the Cyclones another score at the end of the first half.
And Iowa State will receive to begin the second half here in Ames, Iowa. Points off turnovers is huge, and especially the turnovers, because Iowa State remarkable would be the best way to describe them this year as far as turnovers and points off turnovers.
Well, that's what a coach wants to see happen. When you create a turnover, you put points on the board as a result of it. Hey, what it does, it takes a little momentum and puts it in your favor, and that helps your football team.
Well, Iowa is -1 on turnovers to their opponents. Iowa State +10 this year. Kyle McCann needs to get untracked. Once again, Iowa will be kicking with the wind to begin quarter number 3, which means they'll be going against the wind in the 4th quarter. But they chose to receive to start this football game off, which set the tone for the rest of the day. Jermaine Billups far side, Michael Wagner near side, set to kick it away is Iowa. Quarter number 3, and we are underway. A driving kick that may split the uprights. Iowa State will begin 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
20-yard line.
Iowa State, 4th winning season since 1980, only their 2nd since 1989. Ennis Haywood, part of the group of young men that Dan McCarney has brought him to Iowa State. You know, in the past, Iowa State has always had good kids, but they haven't had the kids that have the ability to play winning Big 12 football. Dan has done that, but the next step is beating the Kansas States, the Colorados, and Nebraskas for this team.
Seneca Wallace in the first half on fire, 10 of 11, 128 yards, the touchdown throw. He has command of the football in the first half.
4 wide receivers, they drop it into the flat, and it's complete again to Lane Danielson, who has been just the workhorse today. That's his 4th reception of the afternoon for Danielson out of Dike, Iowa. Leads the team in receptions, 5th in the Big 12 in yards per game.
Well, defensively for the Hawkeyes, they need to step up, and Aaron Campman, number 54, is the leader in that defense up front, and he needs to make some plays for them to succeed. Seneca Wallace and this offensive group for the Cyclones been able to move the ball consistently on them.
Well, into the win, Iowa State now again looking to throw. 3 wide receivers to the right on 2nd and 5. Wallace, quarterback draw. He called his own number. Gets a block, and he will have the first down as he crosses the 30 up to the 31-yard line. That's a solid call by Steve Loney.
Well, when you take and run a draw play and you want to get one guy out of the picture, you want to get him up and out of the field. Marcel Howard does a nice job just to club to free his quarterback inside, give him a lane to run with. Seneca Wallace gets up the field and the first down for the Cyclones.
I love Marcel Howard's nickname. They call him Cell Block. And that time he blocked on Aaron Campman.
75 is a big body out there at 6'6", 320 pounds.
Marcel Howard, a former walk-on. First down and 10 on 31-yard line for the Cyclones. Haywood, left side, has a little bit of opening, and again on first down, he blasts through. It'll pick up at least 7 on the play. That keeps you on schedule, and that opens it up for Seneca Wallace.
Well, when you want to go at somebody, go right at the number 1 guy. That's Aaron Campman. Watch here. Marcel Howard, hey, little fake inside, but get him holding. Yeah, they probably got a hold on him there.
He's got the pads, doesn't he? Got the meat hooks on the pads.
Yeah, he's got him inside. You know, you don't get those big meat hooks out there. Marcel Howard, you might have got away with one there, bud, but doing a good job on Campman so far today.
You like how Campman shrugged the shoulder pads back? I mean, he had to readjust them. Danielson on the near side, 2nd down and 3. Haywood again straight ahead, and he will be close to yet another first down. Bob Sanders coming up from that strong safety spot.
Close to the first down by number
So a nice
33,
mixture for this Iowa State offense that's very balanced. And again, the matchup.
Well, the matchup is there. Aaron Campman hasn't been able to get away from this defense, this offensive line blocking him. Right there, they blocked him with a tight end, Mike Banks, number 31. The big senior, 250-pounder himself. So Aaron Campman really hasn't been a factor in this football game for the Hawkeye defense.
Now the sun is broken through as they're going to measure. Talk about a balanced offense. That's this Iowa State offense. 192 yards rushing, 199 throwing the football. 3rd down and a skosh. That's a football term, Gary. Skosh.
Well, I think they're probably going to go for here. Dan McCarney, hey, we want to get some momentum as the sun comes out. Let's go ahead and make it while the sun is shining, as they say. And Dan McCarney's going to go for here on a 4th and short situation. Their offensive line is doing a good job. And
that'll be 3rd down.
It'll be short. 3rd down. I thought it was going to be a 4th down. That's right. They had the first down earlier.
Well, Joe Woodley, the big fullback, comes in from Des Moines, plus a couple of tight ends.
And their success rate on 3rd down has been outstanding this year, Ron.
Craig Campbell wide to the left, I formation. We haven't seen that a whole lot today.
57% completions on third down conversions. That's an excellent job by the offense.
Oh my. And then Marcel Howard jumps on that left side. So here we're singing his praises. And he gets happy feet.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Start talking about a big guy and doing well, but just excited to make a play. Watching the left side of the screen, number 75. The defense moved in front of him, but they didn't get in the neutral zone. And big Howard just kind of fell out of his stance. And he's going to make a little bit of a decision here, a different decision for their offensive coordinator, Steve Loney, to call a play for his offense. And Seneca Wallace now has to make something happen here with a third medium.
Well, you have a third down and maybe 8 inches. Now you go to 3rd and 5. Huge difference. Now there's some confusion among the officials. There's one saying start the clock, another saying stop the clock. I think a ref.
Well, one of the officials went right over to Dan McCarney on the sideline to give him some information. They're coming back to Kirk Ferentz on this side.
Well, one of the officials may be hurt, the left knee, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. Hopefully we'll update his condition. Iowa State leads 14-0. Well, our referee is Bill Lamont. Your watch on the left side of your screen after that last play.
Now he's going to come in here a little bit of limp in his step there. Watch his left leg. He's just kind of got a hitch in his giddy up and trying to work it out of him out there. He's got his kinks out a little bit. He's going to try to go on it. We watched him run around out there, and hopefully he's going to continue. Maybe one of those old football injuries, a little cartilage in the knee or something, lock up on him. Bill's a gamer himself, going to continue with his referee position.
Well, they came out and looked at him, and in case you're wondering what would happen if he'd have to leave, it's predetermined by the crew who takes over as referee. 3rd down and 5, 12:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Iowa State leading 14-0. Wallace looks, pass is complete right at the 1st down marker to Mike Banks. And the spot, if they put it where they're saying, it'll be short by just about a football length.
Excellent play by Derek Pagel, playing from his strong safety spot up on Mike Banks. Holds him just short. It's going to look like here, Ron, on the mark.
What do you do now, Gary? I mean, you're moving the football. You're having great success. Do you go for it?
Well, I think they might go for it here on the left side of your screen. You're going to see the coverage. Good job by Pagel, number 25 on the inside, taking away the 1st down from Banks.
What a job by Wallace.
Thrown that just a little bit longer. If he'd had enough time to throw it, as we see, it's about 6 inches short. Banks wants to go for it, the big senior tight end. And Dan McCarney, I think this might be a chance where he would, but it looks like they're bringing the punt team on the field.
Well, you're kicking into the wind, though.
That's the thing. You could make the 1st down and go, but Smarley with a 14-point lead, go ahead and play it close to the vest and kick the football away.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks, Gary.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about it.
I know. I don't have to do it. Tony Yelk, you can see the average on Tony, but he's punting into an incredibly stiff wind, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Khalil Hill standing at his 25.
And Khalil Hill made a big mistake at the end of the 1st half to give the ball back to the Cyclones.
And he does a nice job, hangs it up in the air, and Hill just going to have to let it bounce. And Dan McCarney looks like a genius. Goes inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line, and for Yelk, that was his 14th inside the 20. He did his job.
Really has. Yelk has done a good job for Dan McCarney this year, punting the football and kicking, and doing a good job in special teams. When you can improve in your special teams area outside of offense and defense, hey, it says a lot for your football team.
45 yards on the kick for the nation's leading freshman kicker. And Iowa, again, with bad field position. You can see the clouds that are hanging over the field, but from where the weather's coming, it's still pretty clear. 1st and 10, Iowa has it on their own 14-yard line. McCann will put it up. Into the flat, the red jerseys converge on Liddell Betts. Betts with only his 12th reception of the year. Bo Coleman coming up from that right defensive end, who's the motor guy on this defense. Big 55, the junior out of San Diego, California.
Well, good coverage that time by the Cyclones downfield. McCann brings it all the way down to his check down receiver. Betts coming out of the backfield. Not a whole lot going on downfield for the Iowa offense. Being able to throw the ball down the field or having to throw to the check down. The Cyclones are doing a good job coming up playing defense.
Chris Oliver now to the near side, split. Khalil Hill to the right, Oliver in motion. Betts straight ahead running, big hole, 1st down, and then some. Over the 25 up to the 27-yard line. Betts just kept the feet moving. He was carrying A.T. Austin.
Well, give it to the guy who's brung you all season. Liddell Betts going to be the ISO play, lead play inside. Watch the offensive line clean up, and then you got your big fullback, Jeremy Allen, seal the linebacker. Allows Betts to get back into the secondary, and he can run through those safety tackles. Take a look there, 47 on your left side of your screen. Jeremy Allen with a nice block. Liddell Betts got a lot of power at the tailback spot.
It's a first down and 10. Excellent run by Betts from the 27. McCann looks in the flat, nothing doing. Running to Hill, great catch at the 40. Down to the 37-yard line, Khalil Hill. A tremendous reception, his 5th of the day.
Well, there's 3 things that happen on this. First, you've got protection of the offensive line. Kyle McCann's going to do just a drop back pass. Look at the offensive line protection. His vision, he throws the ball. That's number 2. And number 3 is a great catch. Khalil Hill outstretches his arms, gets behind the defense. Harold Lewis cannot make the play. He's in good coverage, but the ball is thrown outside and deep, and Hill outstretches his arms and makes a great grab.
Now you second guess yourself on 4th and a foot. First and 10 from the 38. The Iowa State defense is bent, but they haven't broken yet today, and Matt Ward leads a charge of the red jerseys. Adam Runk putting his head in there too. Not much going on for Liddell Betts, who continues just to drive. You know, you just have to be impressed with Betts.
Well, he is. He's a good tailback, a guy you want to build around. And I tell you, Kirk Ferentz must have gone in at halftime and said, hey, we're going to come back with our normal game plan, run the football, throw the ball with McCann, just get back to playing sound Iowa Hawkeye football, and that's what they've done in this opening drive for him.
Well, Betts comes out. Jeremy Allen is in. 2nd down and 7. McCann has a man streaking down the middle of the field, lets it fly in the end zone. Incomplete. Knocked away by Mark Timmons. Solid throw, though, by McCann. Intended for Chris Oliver, but Timmons, the sophomore from Bradenton, Florida, is a heady player.
Well, it's a big play-action fake. You watch the heavy fake, and Timmons is going to get back deep. He's going to get a little help here because if McCann throws that ball early, Oliver is behind him. Timmons, a safety. Good play and reaction, getting back underneath the throw and able to break it up.
Just an all-around good play by Timmons. 3rd down and 7 now for the Hawkeyes. Oliver wide to the right. McCann looking for Oliver, throwing, passes complete, down to the 25-yard line, and that'll be a first down. A.T. Boston on the coverage. Oliver ran a solid pattern.
No happy feet for that quarterback.
No.
Kyle McCann does a nice job of stepping into this throw. Chris Oliver on the outside, little button hook route, get him in front of the cornerback and work back to your quarterback and gets enough for the first down. That's the most important thing. Kyle McCann can throw the football, throws it well deep, can zip it in there. He's their passing quarterback, a senior, leads this offense, and he's doing a good job here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, he completes 65%. That's pretty solid no matter what level you play on. 1st and 10 from the 25 for Iowa. Betts straight ahead running. He stood up, but he still leans forward down to the 21-yard line. Still picks up 4. Adam Runk from that strong safety spot again on the tackle.
Well, the Cyclone defense has to find a way to stop him. Matt Ward, who had a good first half, goes into the offensive line, and they handle him there on the pressure. Jeremy Allen leads the play for Betts. This offense is clicking now for the Hawkeyes.
Now Liddell Betts comes back out. Well, you made a great point. Kirk Ferentz just said, we're going back to our game plan. What got us here? What has had us average over 35 points a game. And now Khalil Hill wide to the right. 2nd and 6. They give it to Allen, right side. First down, Iowa, inside the 15, down to about the 14-yard line. Ward and Runk making the stop. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch when you think of Betts and Allen.
It is. Those two guys, they get the ball, and Allen, tell you, he's done a good job running the football when he's had opportunity to do it this year. They actually throw the ball to him a little bit too. 17 catches on the year. You see his numbers running this season. He's a big bruising fullback. He's done a good job blocking so far, getting up on those linebackers of the Cyclones.
Iowa has been as good as their offensive line, and now's the time that this offensive line of the Hawkeyes has to dig in. 1st and 10 from the 14. A very impressive drive by Iowa. McCann looking, throwing, great call to Betts. Touchdown!
Well, this is one, I tell you, this is a great play design here. Ken Hawkeyes, the offensive coordinator, is just going to run the play-action fake they've run time and time again. But, hey, take your tailback, fake it to him, and then sneak him out the back door for a screen to him. Well set up. He's got the lineman up front blocking. Everybody's there. It's a clean run to the end zone for Betts. Hey, I tell you, that's a play that I'm most impressed with, running with real efficiency from the offense.
Liddell Betts' first receiving touchdown this year. Now the extra point by Nate Cady. The important extra point. Snap down, the kick, splits the uprights, and he is 47 of 48. But Liddell Betts from Kyle McCann in Iowa is right back into this football game, trailing by just 7. Well, not quite as calm as that shot. It's windy, it's overcast, but no rain, and Liddell Betts pulls Iowa within 7 at 14-7. Talk about how close this game is. Iowa with 200 total yards, Iowa State with 196. But the 3:08 drive, 3-minute and 8-second drive by Iowa ended up with Liddell Betts' touchdown. But as we were talking during the break, Gary, that was impressive.
It really was. The way they moved the ball down the field, offense was clicking for the Hawkeyes. Hey, Kirk Ferentz has done a good job. Whatever he told him at halftime, it worked.
Yeah. Cady set to kick it away. Billups and Wagner for Iowa State. Once again, he's kicking in with a very strong wind. High sidewinding kick. Goodbye. A touchdown once again.
Really impressive. It's the play action here, fake inside. They do this all the time. All the receivers run down, and what they do is they leave a void area over here, and then Liddell Betts gets in behind his offensive lineman, and hey, bingo, it's all the way to the house because the corner runs off, the safety's back in coverage. That's a play that they knew that no one was going to cover the check down receiver, which is Betts on that play. The defense basically lets him go, and they cover everyone else.
Well, the Iowa State coaches have a bag of tricks. They always have that reverse threat in their bag. Joe Woodley, the fullback, and it's Haywood, the tailback. Haywood skips up ahead for probably 3 yards on the play. One thing that Iowa State wanted to do offensively is keep Iowa moving on defense. Explain, Gary.
What they want to do is keep the defensive linemen moving, make them make tackles at the sidelines. We really haven't seen that today.
That's right.
Surprised that they haven't stretched the field more. They felt like that the defensive linemen that Iowa has are, instead of 2 defensive ends, maybe playing with 2 defensive tackles. Even talking about Campman with his ability, number 54, the big defensive lineman on the outside who plays defensive end. They don't feel like he runs extremely well, and he's probably suited more as a defensive tackle.
Whitmer wide to the left. And 2nd and 7. Now Seneca Wallace changing it, and he's going to have to burn the timeout. We told you he brings 2 plays to the line of scrimmage, and neither one of those must not have been any good. We have a timeout. 8:17 left in the third. 7 points separates the two. Now the Iowa people who have made their way over from Iowa City have enjoyed what they've seen so far in the second half as they've cut that Iowa State lead down to 7. Well, with Gary Reasons, I'm Ron Thulin. 8:17 left in the third. Iowa State leading 14-7. Iowa has, you can just feel the confidence here in the second half. Wallace swings it out into the flat. Montgomery, not much running room after the reception. Benny Sapp, the very talented sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, coming up from that quarterback spot.
Good job, Benny Sapp on the outside, just taking on the blocker, and it's going to be a little slip screen behind him, but Benny Sapp comes off the block and makes a play for no gain.
Now, if you're Dan McCarney, you're thinking, let's just get to the fourth quarter there?
Exactly. You want to get to the fourth quarter. You get the wind at your back. You need a couple of first downs, though, because if you kick and have to punt into the wind, the Hawkeyes are going to have a chance to move the football again.
Still 8:11 to play here in the third. 3rd and 4 now for the Cyclones. Wallace looks for the quick pass, and he is going to be dumped back at the 25-yard line. Right at the line of scrimmage. I think he looked right, and he was looking for a go pattern on the left, but excellent defense by this Iowa defense.
Well, everything was covered, and Seneca Wallace looks to his right, looks back to his left, steps inside, and then big Colin Cole, number 94, says, no way, big guy, I'm going to take you down. Makes a big play for the Hawkeyes.
Now you have to be concerned as kicking into the wind will be Tony Yelk. Came in averaging over 45 yards a kick. Returnable. Jones. Oh, what a play! DeAndre Phillips out of Mission Hills, California, was being blocked, still able to separate and make the play. Gary?
Well, C.J. Jones is back there instead of Khalil Hill, the punt returning position. He's a kick returner as well also, but he's able to do this. But that's a great play by the Cyclones covering. Phillips does a nice job getting in position, breaking down, and making the tackle.
Where do you buy those things? That guy's got on his head. Jeez. I think it's a reject from Wisconsin, isn't it?
It might be.
It's a half a
doesn't have any holes in it.
No, it doesn't. Well, he's got one. Set first and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Interesting. Khalil Hill not returning punts. McCann, straight drop, plenty of time, rifles the pass, caught. 45-yard line by the tight end, Dallas Clark. Boy, he had some zip on that ball.
Well, Dallas Clark is a tight end who catches a lot of footballs. He's a second leading receiver here. He's going to come up and run the post pattern, get in behind the defense, and watch the ball thrown in by McCann. Threads it right in there very, very nicely. Actually beat Adam Runk, the strong safety on the play. Good execution to the tight end.
Runk, a third-team All-Big 12 member, and you can see how close it is just looking at the yardage. First and 10 from the 46. Now Hill on the near side. And C.J. Jones. McCann will put it up again. Scrambling, here come the jerseys. And he is going to be dropped, but not before he picks up a couple. Good job by McCann keeping his feet underneath him as Tyson Smith and Jeremy Lloyd converge quickly.
Well, he got a lot of help there up front trying to keep him out. Nobody getting to him. McCann, just watch his feet there. So see, look what happens to the tight end going down and trying to get open. Get Runk on him in coverage again. He says, I want the ball, but not going to get it to him.
Oh, he got away with a little bit. Got away with a little bit. Love me tapping the back. Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8. Big series if you're the Iowa State defense, because this Iowa offense has been impressive in the second half. That's right side again, another little bit of running room. Tyson Smith trying to drag him down from behind. Betts closing in on 100 yards rushing.
Well, they just stretched the offensive line out that time and got hat on the defense. Made a couple of holes there for Betts to choose to go through. He goes behind the right guard. It's a nice game that time, brings up 3rd and short.
Now, if you're going to the game, why bring a television? I'm just kind of curious.
They're going to listen to you, Ron. You probably got headphones on the whole bit.
Yeah, I bet. 3rd down and 2 for Iowa. Ball on the Iowa State 46-yard line. Option, McCann. First down, Iowa. Adam Runk was hanging on for dear life, but McCann just powered his way up a couple of yards.
Well, John Skladany, the defensive coordinator from Iowa State, probably wouldn't think that this quarterback, Kyle McCann, is going to run the option. He's done that a little bit this year. He's done a very good job and been very efficient running it. The thing about him making a good decision, which he does there, to hold the ball, just get them enough for the first down, which is about a yard.
In the second half, it has been the Iowa offense. That has been the key. They keep it on the ground. Betts, one man to beat. Touchdown, Iowa. What a great move by Liddell Betts. His 10th time he's got into the end zone running the football this year. Showed some...
Well, watch your fullback, number 47, Jeremy Allen, get the lead block here and spring Betts. Betts cuts back inside. He balls off the linebacker, and Betts takes it to the house. He has enough speed. Good job there eluding the tackle on the sideline, and Betts puts another one up for the Hawkeyes.
And the extra point for the tie. Good snap. And we are tied. Liddell Betts ties this ball game up. Liddell Betts with the touchdown run. The extra point was good, and we are tied at 14. Plenty of time left, just over 5:45 here in the third. Phillips and Wagner back, and again the kick out of the end zone. So in 2 possessions in the second half, Iowa has made good. Betts has been the man.
I talked about Jeremy Allen, the fullback, getting the block, but watch the center, number 72, Bruce Nelson come around and get word. The middle linebacker, actually he's holding right up there at the top. He gets him out of the picture. And Liddell Betts takes it to the house. He does the rest for the Hawkeyes. 2 good blocks on that play. One by the center, Bruce Nelson, and then your fullback, Jeremy Allen. Good job that time and putting points on the board.
66 yards, only took him 5 plays and just over 140. 5 of 10 opponents this year have failed to score or scored just once in the second half on this Iowa defense. Wallace rolling left, throwing into the flat. Jack Whitver with the reception. Whitver with his second catch of the afternoon, and Betts again over 1,000 yards running the football. 1,090 last year, 1,040 this year. 3 straight years over 800 yards rushing. Only the second runner in Iowa history to do that.
Well, he's doing a good job for the Hawkeyes, I'm telling you, running the football. But offensively for Iowa State, Seneca Wallace now is 13 of 14 completing passes, 143 yards on the day. And he let him throw the ball some more.
Into the wind. On 2nd and 5, he's got some running room, throws it instead. What a catch! Up to the 37-yard line. Mike Banks turned completely around to make that reception. And Banks has 5 catches on the afternoon.
He's had a nice afternoon from the tight end spot, blocking as well. He's going to come across here on the backside and get open. Seneca Wallace on the roll out there. Watch him throw across his body. Good job by the tight end, settling down. Hey, acrobatic catch.
Wow.
Good job by the senior.
Okay, so I said he didn't have great hands. He had good hands. I think I just elevated that a tad.
Well, he had 27 catches a year ago. His production's been down this year, Ron. I tell you, he's a tight end that can catch a football and is a good blocker as well.
Of course, Seneca Wallace had 18 straight completions earlier this year, which is a Big 12 record. Now he rolls right, looking, plenty of time, throwing, complete up to the 48-yard line. Lane Danielson again with a catch, his 5th of the afternoon. The sophomore from Dike, Iowa.
Well, the first time we see Seneca Wallace roll to the right, throws well to the left. Hey, go ahead and roll to the right, see if you can stick it in there as well. And he sure does. He makes his 15th or 16th completion of the day as he sticks it in there. Hey, the Cyclones have responded. Hawkeyes have put up 2 touchdowns here. And now on this drive, they're answering back.
Still plenty of time in the third, just over 4 minutes. They've done it on the passing of Seneca Wallace. Ennis Haywood looks for some daylight, crosses the 50 into Iowa territory, down to about the 47-yard line. Pickup of about 6 on the play, which will set up a 2nd down and 4.
Well, when you're going to roll your quarterback like they do with Seneca Wallace, it's going to open it up for Ennis Haywood eventually inside. He does a good job that time of reading the offensive lineman's blocks. Takes a little skip step to his left. Tough for me to say, but 6 yards on the run. And this offense is starting to click here for the Cyclones.
Haywood, one of the guys that wasn't heavily recruited out of Carter High School in Dallas, has really matured in his 4 years at Iowa State. 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, Wallace throwing, pass, incomplete. Intended for Jamal Montgomery. Fans wanted a penalty flag, but Bob Sanders just lowered the boom on him. That was just solid defense.
Well, Bob Sanders is the biggest hitter in that secondary, probably the biggest hitter on their defense. Their defensive coordinator told me, say, hey, if there was a way to measure his explosiveness, bingo, Bob Sanders would go off the charts. Good job that time breaking up from his safety spot.
Yeah. Tough angle to see. Looks like you got that left-hander there, though, to swat away the ball. 3rd down and 4. Big 3rd down now for Iowa State. Iowa, 6 on the line of scrimmage. They bring 4. Wallace looking deep. Penalty flag thrown. Has a man wide open, incomplete. Lane Danielson had a step, but it would have gone for naught. 2 penalty flags holding against Iowa State.
Well, this is a tough call to make here. What do you do on this? You're going to give the offense an opportunity to throw the ball again. Yeah. You see Seneca Wallace throw it down. He's thrown directly into the wind, throws a nice tight spiral. It actually sails on him a little bit. Well, he wanted that one.
Yeah, you have to decline that penalty. That brings up a 4th and 4. Now, if you're Dan McCarney, you got to kick it away.
No doubt. You're going to have a chance here with punting in the plus territory to get some field position going against the wind, which is kind of unique. And all they want to have happen, Ron, is a chance to get back in the fourth quarter. 3 minutes to go here in this third quarter.
Well, Tony Yelk back, standing on his own 41-yard line. C.J. Jones of Iowa on his own 10. So Khalil Hill, second punt in a row, not returning it. Good one into the wind. Jones looked like a fair catch. Hits, great punt by the freshman Tony Yelk, the best in the country. And we have a penalty flag thrown. It'll be holding they're calling against, I think, Iowa. It looks like a holding call against the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, it depends on whether it's post-possession.
That is against Iowa.
Oftentimes, if it's pre-possession before the kick, they can get a first down on that, but I'm not sure if it's going to be post-possession or not.
What a great kick, though. I mean, that into a 20 to 30 mile an hour wind, and you down it down at the 2-yard line.
Well, you take your punter Yelk and let him punt the football.
Holding on the team. The distance to the goal. First down.
You get a little bit more yards. Tell you, when you take your punter, you let him kick the ball into the wind. They say, go ahead and punt it straight up there. Punt it with all you've got. And Yelk does a nice job. Good job on the drop. Good spot. Hey, he likes it. He's going to watch it bounce down there.
It's plus 40 yards into the wind. Now Iowa with 3:08 going with the wind. Left in the third, their backs against the wall. They've only lost 6 fumbles this year. 2 tight ends, Clark and Jensen. Khalil Hill to the near side, Betts in the backfield. Betts straight ahead. Powers his way over the 5 to the 6-yard line, and Runk is there.
You don't know how big a 5 yards that is. Kirk Ferentz is over there saying, hey, we need to get out of this area down to the 1-yard line. Adele Betts just powers it through. Watch him here come through the defensive line. Just find any hole you can and get through there. Little sidestep back to the left, and good job of getting out and gaining 5-6 yards.
And the Iowa State defense, their goal every game, 3 turnovers and 1 score. They're in a position now that one of those would be huge. On 2nd and 5, nothing doing this time. Anthony Forrest, the redshirt freshman out of Fort Worth, Texas, coming over the top. Matt Ward also in on the tackle.
Well, if you're going to run the ISO play, you got to have your fullback block. Jeremy Allen, number 47, the fullback, led up in there. But he didn't want to have any part of contact because the Cyclone defense was coming in there. Tell you, Liddell Betts had to stop in his tracks and basically fell down on the play.
3rd down and 6 for Iowa. Tied at 14, 2 minutes to play in the third, and you can see what Iowa's done on 3rd downs today. Hill wide to the left. McCann looking for Hill. Got him. Knocked away. Johnny Smith III, the sophomore out of Bradenton, Florida. Hill had the move. The pass was there. And the youngster comes up with the best defensive play of the day for the Cyclones.
Exactly right. A lot of young players in the secondary in the cornerback spot. Johnny Smith comes up big here on Khalil Hill, the number 1 receiver for Iowa, coming out and making a nice play, coming around with his left hand and knocking the ball out of there.
Well, you need a big defensive play, and that's what happened. Bradley in his end zone. Not much of a rush. With the win, Wagner right at the 50. To the 40. He's got room. To the 35. To the 30-yard line of Iowa, Michael Wagner. David Bradley, the kicker, had to make the stop, but not before Wagner brings it all the way down to the 31-yard line, a 29-yard return.
Well, Bradley, to his credit, gets a good punt out of there. It's just kind of a line drive effort, though. And the effort here by the return team, hey, excellent. Good job of blocking. Watch the wall set up here from the right side. Little bingo block there. Get a couple more, get him around to the corner. And Bradley, hey, you got to do what you got to do, young man. Make a tackle sometimes. And hey, you never know when you're going to run down and have to do something. These punters, hey, he's got a full face mask on, full shoulder pads. He qualifies. He can play.
Well, that's the longest punt return of the year for Iowa State. Now Haywood and Jermaine Billups in the backfield. Once again, the shotgun for Wallace. Iowa State must take advantage of this. Wallace into the flat. Dangerous pass, complete, caught inside the 20 to Craig Campbell. What a dangerous pass. That was so close to being picked off.
Well, they're throwing against quarters defense. What that is, there's 4 defenders deep. All the way around the back defense here surrounded them. DJ Johnson, number 5, going to try to make a play on the ball, but he doesn't make the play. And Campbell's able to come up with a big play for the Cyclones. I tell you, Seneca Wallace has to zip this ball into the wind to the outside. Okay, that's a tough throw today.
Got to feel comfortable with your offense when you're throwing the ball like this into this gusting wind. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Haywood, straight ahead, running room inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. In case you just joined us, it was 14-0 at halftime. Iowa came out, 2 scores here in the third. Betts on the reception, Betts on the run, tied it at 14, and now Iowa State answering the challenge. Hats off to the Cyclones, and it's because that offensive line stepping up during this drive.
Well, Ennis Haywood is shaking his head as he goes back to the huddle. He knows that he gets his feet picked up there, he's going to take that one in for the score.
Well, they're calling it on the 11th, so it's 2nd and 4. Haywood going to be stacked up right at the 10-yard line, maybe picked up a yard.
Haywood on the carry for the Cyclones.
This is where it gets tough. This Iowa defense has really stepped up this year, considering how far they've come in just the 3 short years that Kirk Ferentz has been the head coach of this team. Such great improvement on defense, only allowing 320 yards a game. And that's the end of the quarter. 15 minutes are left in Ames, Iowa. The Hawkeyes, 2 touchdowns in the third, tied it up. But as we head to the 4th, Iowa State is threatening. Welcome back to Ames, Iowa, along with Gary Reasons. I'm Ron Thulin. Now, we saw Iowa answer the challenge in that third quarter. Iowa State now threatening. How important is it for them to answer the challenge?
Well, the Cyclones have to come back and do a good job offensively, put the ball in for points. This is a game where, if you have to answer the challenge, and they're going to do that here if they put points on the board, Ron.
Well, Iowa State definitely has to take advantage of the situation. The penalty will be against Iowa State. You know, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot so many times you don't have any toes left, but when you're knocking on the door like this in this red zone or green zone, the way some coaches call it, you can't afford to have penalties like this.
Well, they set you back. It's obviously going to be a more difficult situation for the offense to go with. Dan McCarney just shouting out there, Kirk Ferentz. Both coaches really into this game. It's tied up, 14-14, 15 minutes of football left. This is what it all comes down to.
Right, 50,000 people on hand, 3rd and 8. Wallace, 3-step drop, rifles the pass, incomplete. Into the hands of Jack Whitford, thought he had it. It would have been a first down, and now Dan McCarney faces 4th down and 8 from the 15.
Well, Wallace zipped it in there like he's supposed to. Andy Sapp had the coverage on him. Take a look here, he's going to throw it to us.
Well, they're going to be forced to kick it away.
Yeah, they're probably going to go here with field goal try. Looks like about 32 yards.
32 yardage for Tony Elk.
Doesn't have to overkick this ball. Should have plenty of leg to get this in there.
Longest is 47. Remember, they've been slipping. The holder is Casey Baldwin. Good snap, good hold. The kick on its way, and it is good. The freshman Tony Yelk, just enough. Out of Arlington, Wisconsin, the best freshman kicker in the country. And he has given Iowa State the lead, but is that a victory for the Iowa defense? We'll be back. It is cold, it is windy, and it is overcast in Ames, Iowa, but don't tell the 50,000 fans here. They love it, and they should. We were tied at 14, but Yelp gets the field goal, and Iowa State has regained the lead after leading by 14-0 at halftime.
Well, when you want an in-state rivalry to go like this, or a game that comes down to something that means something, this is what you got. End of the year, a couple of guys that are teams that are trying to make their bowl opportunities shine a little bit brighter at the end of the year, get that 7th victory.
Will and Oliver back. The line drive kick, that'll be going out of the end zone, and Iowa take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. They'll be going into this breeze, which is still blowing about 20 to 30 miles an hour.
Well, that's key here now. Kyle McCann is going to have to operate with the wind in his face. And if you go out there and march his troops down the field, they've done a good job changing up here, though, in the third quarter. Now coming into the fourth, Liddell Betts has run the ball extremely well. Cal McCandless has been a pretty good effective passer, throwing the ball into coverage and get some good receptions as well.
Well, they've shown just how two-dimensional this team is. They have done it on the ground and in the air. Hill and Jones, the wide receivers, they keep it on the ground. Betts picks up 2. Tyson Smith, the former linebacker, and we have a penalty flag thrown, comes up with a stop. It looks like it's going to be against Iowa, and it will.
Now the Iowa players are talking about Iowa State.
Oh, no.
Got a personal foul here. Probably going to be a dead ball foul at the end of the play and tack on some more yardage.
Well, they're talking to Kevin Durande.
Dead ball, personal foul. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, my. Well, you have the penalty when you have third and 4 for Iowa State offensively, knocking on the door, pushes them back. Now they have this penalty.
That's a big, big penalty. Gives them field position. Going into the wind, don't even have to throw the ball. Maybe starting to rain as well.
Yeah, it's starting to sprinkle again. Make it even harder. But Iowa, good field position now at the 32-yard line. 37-yard line. Check that. Betts, left side. Hit from behind, but makes his way up to the 40. Jordan Karsten's coming up, along with Matt Ward again.
The defensive linemen do a good job of stringing it out there. Let the cavalry come. Both linebackers slide and make a good play. Jordan Karsten's doing a good job holding his own up front. This Hawkeye offense wants to run the ball, but I really think that Kyle McCann, he's had an excellent day so far, Ron. 10 of 13. Excuse me, 13 of 18. Doing a good job. Excuse me, it's 10 of 13. 10 completions, 13 attempts. He's throwing the ball well.
Now Betts is out. Jeremy Allen is back in, and here comes the rain again. And it's starting to come down. McCann, 5-step drop, looks, pass, caught, complete, into Iowa State territory. Eric Jensen, the sophomore out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Matt Ward was hanging on him. And Jensen only his 3rd reception of the year.
Well, he splits time with Dallas Clark at that tight end spot. Does a nice job there of working away from the coverage. And showing that he's got good hands as well. You've got 2 tight ends lined up there, and you're going to see him break out away from Ward, the middle linebacker. Ward's got to learn to step in front of that. He could intercept that ball with the proper break. McCann zips it in there. Just a poor angle by the linebacker and a good grab by the big tight end.
Khalil Hill and Jones, the wide receivers. 1st and 10 from the Iowa State 48. Betts slipping around, still gets his feet underneath him. Crosses the 45 down to the 42-yard line. Kevin Durande on the stop. Betts is so hard to tackle. He doesn't need a whole lot of room, Gary.
He doesn't need a whole lot of room, and that offensive line is doing a good job for him. Bruce Nelson, the center, has anchored this offensive line all year. He's actually done it for the last 3 years here for Iowa. He's been the most steady guy up there, and when he goes well, and the rest of the 2 offensive tackles, David Porter and Robert Gallagher, when they play real well, this offensive line can get some holes in that tailbone.
Nelson started as a redshirt freshman. Betts again. This time he is stacked up. Maybe got a yard on the play. Let's go back to Bruce Nelson. Here's a young man that walked onto the program. Now he's made 33 consecutive starts, and he's just a junior. They'll have him back next year. He is a true success story here on this Iowa offensive line.
Yeah, you told me. It's a former tight end. He came to the program thinking he's going to be a tight end. Kurt Ferentz, who was an offensive line coach in the National Football League, said, hey, young man, we need you to play center for us. He's answered the call.
Early in the 4th quarter, this will be the play of the 4th quarter. 3rd and 3. Allen, the lone setback. McCann looks for the slant, and he is hit. Anthony Forrest, the redshirt freshman. 3rd sack of the ball game for this Iowa State defense.
Well, put a little pressure on the quarterback, pick out a spot where you're going to run, and take a look here. Forrest is clean on the outside. McCann does not even see him come. Good clean tackle, good hit, good defensive design. He's looking to his left side all the way. Doesn't even see him coming from the backside. Hey, that's a big play for the Cyclones, and it brings up a big 4th down.
Now, Bradley had problems kicking into the win of the 1st. Low snap, nice job. This is a better kick. Wagner, fair catch. Right at the 17, 18-yard line. You know, you want your defense to come up with big plays. Iowa looked like they were on the move, but watch this hit. Company of the Big 12. And part of the campus of Iowa State University in Ames, Iowa, along with Gary Reasons. I'm Ron Thulin. We have 11:16 left to play. Bowl implications on the line. Right now, Iowa State with the football and the advantage. And Wallace is going to be dropped. No! Still on his feet, and then they're going to say he is down. All the way back to the 7-yard line. That is the second sack of the afternoon for Iowa. Jerry Montgomery, his second sack of the year.
Well, Tim DeBrink comes inside, number 91. He's going to get the feet of Seneca Wallace. Just beats everybody up front. Nobody can handle him. You see the knee go down there on the ground, so he is down. Good call by the official.
Well, Aaron Campbell was going to put the hurt on him anyway, and the ponchos have been brought out here in Ames because the rain, not as bad as we had at about 9:30 Central Time this morning, but it is coming down and it is cold. Loss of 10 on the play. 2nd and 20. Haywood, right side, look out. Oh, he was one step away, but he did get over the 10 up to about the 13-yard line, which will bring up third down and probably about 15.
Now, this is a big third down here for the Cyclones, coming out of your own end zone. You need to get a couple of first downs here. Dan McCarney wants his offense to stay on the field. You can actually win the football game with a long drive here, eat up some time on the clock, and if you can put points on the board, give yourself a little bit of a cushion.
3rd and 15 from the 13. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Seneca Wallace has been excellent this afternoon. Wallace looking, time, throwing, intercepted at the 32-yard line. Fumble, and Iowa State gets it back. Grant Steen with a pickup. He fumbles it, and I think Iowa State may have gotten it back, and they did. Oh my goodness, what a change of events. Steen with his first interception of the year, and as Haywood put a hit on him, watch him cough it up.
Well, Seneca Wallace is throwing into zone coverage here, trying to make a play here, and throws it inside. Grant Steen steps in there, makes a nice grab, but watch Campbell here come from the backside, strip it out nicely, and the Hawkeyes give it up and give it back to the Cyclones. Who are going to have a first down now with room to work on the 17-yard line.
Campbell did a great job just tomahawking that ball, and then Ennis Haywood there to recover it. And like you said, Gary, what changes it? Better field position and the first down. Nothing doing on the ground. Haywood's going to be stacked up.
Well, Campbell actually, after making that tackle, came out of the game. He's on the sideline now on the far side of the field. We see him running, trying to stretch out. Campbell's had a big day today, 4 or 5 grabs for the Cyclone offense, but probably no bigger play than that one right there, stripping the ball out and getting the ball back to your offense.
You know, that's the first, I think, forced play we've seen by Seneca Wallace today. Would that be a pretty fair statement?
That was a forced play. It's a good analogy. He's able to move around, and when he has open space, he throws the ball real well. Take a look at Campbell with the strip out there, and he falls down on his leg, and hopefully he'll be back in the game for the Cyclones.
Well, 2nd and 9, clock inside of 9 minutes. Iowa State with the lead in the football. Option. Wallace. Tripped up at the 20. Nice defensive play by Steen.
Well, Grant Steen got Seneca Wallace last time on the interception. Now he gets him with his feet and a good tackle on the sideline.
Look at the guns on him. Look at the guns on him, though.
Yeah,
wow,
he's built
big
well.
boy.
6'3", 238-pounder, just a sophomore.
Emmitsburg, Iowa. 50 tackles coming into this game. He's going to go out.
Well, Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator from Iowa, says, hey, I got a lot of young guys out there, but they're effort guys. They play well together, says they have to do that to be successful defensively.
Sun trying to peek out on 3rd and 7. 4 wide receivers set for Iowa State. Iowa's showing a blitz. They bring 5. Now they back off. Wallace pass caught. 32-yard line. First down, Iowa State. Craig Campbell. Oh, this young man does it all.
Well, you ring his bell, and Craig Campbell, he sure answers it, that's for sure. Makes a play, brings it back to his offense now when you need a big third down reception for a first down. Seneca Wallace delivers, but watch the catch and the concentration. Has enough separation from Sapp, gets in front of him, brings down a nice grab.
5th reception for Campbell on the day. I tell you, the ball is wet, he still makes that catch.
Well, I tell you, it looked like he's juggling with his fingertips there. Almost is going to get away from him, but did a nice job of bringing it in and securing the catch.
Now the rain has stopped. Still cloudy and windy. 7:40 to play. 1st and 10 from the 32. Fumble. Recovered. Well, Iowa State dodging a little bit of a bullet. Only their 13th fumble this year, but they've only lost, as we mentioned, 2.
Well, that's just a snap that got up over Wallace's head, but have had to go up high to get it. Luckily got it back. That's almost like a penalty or a situation where you lost it down and lose 5-6 yards on the play, brings up a 2nd and long situation.
2nd down and 18. Loss of 8 on the play. 3 wide receivers to the right. Lane Danielson, the lone wide receiver, to the left. Wallace looking, time, into the flat, complete to Danielson, to the 40, inside the 40, skips his way out at the 43-yard line. And that'll be good enough for another first down. Bob Sanders chasing him out.
Well, this is a good job by your quarterback. Looking down the field, you know you've got to get 18 yards for the first down. But hey, take what the defense gives you. Lane Danielson is going to be on the bottom of the screen. He's going to run a smash route all the way across. Watch the progression of the quarterback. He's going to watch all these guys run off. The void area is back here. Danielson makes the grab and gets behind the defense. More importantly, a first down and a lot of breathing room now for the Cyclones.
Well, Steve Loney said that smash route is their favorite route to run. It was there. 1st and 10 from the 43. It's bowl time for both of these teams. Clock, the ally of Iowa State. Seneca Wallace looking, throwing across his body. Pass is complete, and Iowa inside Iowa's territory. Jack Whitmer again, his 3rd reception of the year.
Seneca Wallace, I tell you, he's really impressing me today. He's coming rolling to his left. He may throw the ball better rolling to his left. Yeah. He has 3 receivers out to hit in front of him, but he throws it behind him to Whitmer coming across from the backside. Little void the defensive areas, and I tell you, Seneca Wallace is having an excellent day. He's now completed 19 of 24 passes on the day for 218 yards.
Well, he was 22 of 24 at Baylor for over 250 yards. He is just having a remarkable day today. More importantly, the clock is running inside of 6 minutes. Haywood stacked up, nothing doing. Will lose 3 yards on the play, back to the 50. Fred Barr, nice job from that linebacker spot.
It really was. Fred Barr, we haven't talked a lot about him today, but he's the leading tackler on that Hawkeye defense. Doing a good job of slipping in there and making a negative play when you need it. Brings up a 3rd and short situation, so the Hawkeyes have a chance here to stop the Cyclones, but they're going to have to answer here on 3rd down.
Whitmer comes out, the wide receiver for Iowa State. Both teams making changes. 3rd and 3. Whitmer in motion. Wallace over the middle, has a man, and it is complete to Whitmer. Threw it behind him, he slipped, he fell, and he still made the catch. His 4th of the afternoon.
Well, when you're going to throw the football down the middle of the field and give your quarterback a chance to do it, you got to block everybody. Okay, Aaron Campbell, number 54. Marcel has done a good job. Marcel Howard, number 75, has handled him all day. Aaron Campbell, probably their best defensive player overall on Iowa's defense, and hasn't done a lot in the backfield today.
Well, Marcel Howard may be playing himself into a draft pick. Now we've got 4 wide receivers. McCarney not getting, and Steve Loney not getting conservative at all. Straight ahead running. Inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Tough yards. Boy, how important, though, is it, Gary, to get that 5-6 yards on first down.
Well, that helps your offensive coordinator, Steve Loney. It lets him make calls, a lot easier calls, something that you don't have to make a lot of decisions on. Hey, just go with what works. That offensive line doing a good job. Just stretch it out. Put your big tailback in as Haywood. Let him find the crease and enough power. And he showed why he is, first-team Big 12 selection this year. An excellent tailback.
73 yards running the football now for Haywood. Inside of 4 minutes to play. Wallace slips, throws, complete down to the 22-yard line. No, now they're saying incomplete.
A good break that time by Johnson. DJ Johnson on the outside. Actually gets his right hand in there, Ron, I think, and knocks the ball away and kind of one-hopped it at the end. He thought he might get away with the interception. Seneca Wallace shows me that he has a strong arm, rolls to his right that time and zips it in there. But DJ Johnson makes a good break and comes back to knock it away.
Well, the executive producer of College Football Saturday is Bill Borson. Coordinating producer is Roy Hamilton, Gary Garcia. Today's game produced by Dennis Kirkpatrick, directed by Ned Tate. And the Senior Vice President of Field Operations is my good friend Andrea Berry. 3rd and 3. Wallace looking, throwing, incomplete, almost picked off. Banks had it in his hands. Pagel was there juggling it. And that'll set up a 4th down and 3.
Well, Mike Banks has made some good grabs today coming across from the tight end spot. Hey, Derek Pagel, number 25, he may be hanging on him here before he makes his play. Breaks in front, knocks it away. Good play by the Hawkeyes on defense.
Well, 4th down and 3. Dan McCarney out on the field talking. You can see right now they've already run 11 plays. Have taken almost 6 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, they're going to run it down here, then they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah.
Let the play clock evaporate. And he's got the official here next to him.
Well, even when you're kicking with the wind, though, Gary, you don't try a field goal here. There's too many things that could go wrong, correct?
That's exactly right. You're going to go get the 1st down, put your defense back out there, and they can go long field.
Timeout. 3:48 left to play in the football game. Iowa State leading 17-14. Facing 4th down and 3. In case you just joined us, Iowa State led 14-0 at the half. Iowa came storming back in the 3rd. 14 unanswered points. But a Tony Yelk field goal right now the difference, since Kirk Ferentz's team trying to snap a 3-game losing skid to this Iowa State team. McCann continues to warm up on the sideline. The rain has stopped.
Well, interesting here, they didn't call the timeout, the Cyclones. They didn't use the timeout. They actually had a delay of game penalty.
Yeah.
And the Hawkeyes accepted the penalty, which gives them a 4th and 8 situation instead of the 4th and 3. So definitely you're going to punt the ball away now.
In front of the largest crowd in the history of Iowa State, they're going to kick it away. Yelk with a little pooch kick. That could be perfect. Oh my, and it just didn't get to it. The kick just hung up in the air. DeAndre Phillips tried to run it down, but it was just heading to that right sideline. With 3:41, Iowa will take over. And this game now rests on the shoulders of the Iowa State defense and the Iowa offense. We're going to take a timeout. You don't want to turn the dial on this one. Bragging rights for the state of Iowa. Just 3 minutes and 40. Here's our sleep-in game summary. Once again, 17-14. Iowa State led at halftime by a couple of touchdowns. Betts has done his job tonight, going over 1,000 yards again this year. Seneca Wallace, excellent game for Iowa State. 1 TD, 1 interception. And it's been a tough afternoon for Ennis Haywood. Well under his per-game average, but throw those stats out the window. The only stat that you worry about now is 17-14. And Iowa has 80 yards to go for the victory. Less than that for the field goal for the tie. Keep an eye on Khalil Hill. This is his time. McCann, pass, caught right at the 30-yard line. Chris Oliver, the senior. Flossmoor, Illinois. A.T. Boston on the coverage. Oliver only his 2nd reception of the game.
Well, that's a good positive play for the Hawkeyes to start here. Going to bring up a 2nd and short. I'd expect to see McCann throw the ball down the field. Got plenty of time to work with, though. 3 minutes left in this ball game.
2nd down and less than 1, and they lose 3. Betts just slipped. Once again, it rained pretty good about 20 minutes ago. Jeremy Lloyd was there. But now that sets up a 3rd down, and the thing is the clock keeps running.
Well, that's a key third loss of yardage there. Brings up a 3rd and 2, 3rd and medium. You have to look at this, though, from the offensive perspective. You're going to use any downs that you need, so it's 2 downs to get a 1st down. Don't think you can't throw the ball now. You don't have to run the football. Go ahead and do what works best for your offense. to get the first down.
And they've taken Betts out. Jeremy Allen is in. Clark and Jensen, the tight ends. 3rd and 2. McCann looking. Quick look in pass. Complete. First down, Iowa. Chris Oliver took quite a shot from Matt Word, but he held on to the football. Gutsy call by the Hawkeyes.
Well, the defense is going to blitz here up 3rd and short. A lot of defensive players like to do this. And exactly what happens here. And the Hawkeyes pick him up nicely, convert the first down to Oliver. Matt Word came over from his middle linebacker spot and put a pretty good lick on him. Look at the top of your screen. We're going to have a blitz from the outside. Good pickup there by the backside. The fullback doing nicely, and Oliver gets in here, but watch Matt Ward. Bingo.
Jeremy Allen still in at the tailback spot. He has the football. Iowa State read it perfectly. He's still able to get a yard. The first hit was A.T. Boston. He was flying in from that cornerback spot. Bo Coleman also in on the play.
Kind of surprising you're to hand to your fullback. He's not your go-to guy in this situation. Late in the football game, you hand off to your fullback, hoping to get a big play, and not going to happen against the Cyclone defense.
Well, Iowa's going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 timeouts left, both teams with 2 timeouts. And look at this. Look at Iowa State, their entire team at the top of your screen going into the huddle. Iowa's team just over on the side. Now Iowa State, I think the officials saying everybody's got to move, but during the timeout, I thought anybody can get on the field.
You know, talking to Dan McCarney yesterday, I really hadn't had a chance to talk with him a lot, but I was really impressed with him, and I'm sure that's how he would coach his football team. Hey, we're all together in this. It's a oneness. Everyone here at Iowa State has gotten behind Dan McCarney, what he's brought to this football team, a lot of unity, and that's the mark of a good, successful program. It takes time to develop that, Ron, and you know he's taken the baby steps to get to where he is today.
Well, Kirk Ferentz has brought his team back, no question, but they had a great fan base. They have the better facilities. What Dan McCarney has done in his 7 years is one of the nice, fun success stories of college football. I mean, you would have thought 7 years ago that you'd have over 51,000 people at an Iowa State football game. Much credit goes to that man right there. His enthusiasm's contagious.
I said it earlier, he's looking for his 12th non-conference victory in a row.
2nd down and 9. Iowa has the football, 1:45 to play. They need to get it close if they want to attempt a game-tying field goal. McCann back over the middle. Intercepted by Adam Runk.
Adam Runk on the interception for Iowa State.
Kyle McCann trying to stick it in there over the defense. Good protection up front, but I tell you, one ball that just got away from Kyle McCann today. He's thrown it well. You see, he's got good opportunity to step up and throw the ball, trying to stick it into C.J. Jones, but Adam Runk from his free safety spot does a nice job of bringing the ball down, and a big, big turnover for the Cyclones.
4th interception of the year for Runk. He saved the game in Missouri. He may have done that right now, but there is still 1:37 left to play in this football game. Iowa State with 18 interceptions on the year. Pagel on the stop, but that is the biggest this season.
No doubt about it. That was a great grab that time by Adam Runk. Tell you, the vertical that he showed on that ball really sailed away from Kyle McCann. Looks like he kind of lost the grip on it. Trying to stick a tough pass in there, though. Good coverage, though, on by the secondary of the Cyclones. Everyone was covered. Chris Oliver came inside and tried to zip it in there.
Well, I tell you, Runk, who batted that Kurt Farmer pass away in the Missouri game, just as big in this game. And you can see John Skladaney, the defensive coordinator, giving an attaboys, but right now just need to burn off 131.
Well, when you talk about interceptions for this football team, coming into this game, Ron, the Iowa State defense had come up with 17 interceptions, and uniquely 12 different players made up those interceptions. So a lot of wealth has been spread around defensively. Dan McCarney has put a lot of young players on the field. He's had to grow with them. But when you can produce, create turnovers, hey, that translates into putting your offense back on the field and putting points up there and winning football games.
Well, Iowa dominated this series, but Iowa State now 131 away from making it 4 straight and upping their bowl chances to go to even better bowl. They still have a chance at the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio and the Gallery Furniture Bowl. Seneca looking for running room, has it, breaks free, takes a shot inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play. Fred Barr finally knocked him down, our Dr. Pepper player of the game. No question about it, is Seneca Wallace. Although he did have the interception, he had the touchdown, but I think, Gary, when you talked about Seneca Wallace, the decision-making today, nearly perfect except for the interception.
Well, we talked about him at the beginning of the show, Ron. The X factor that he has, he throws the ball well, but here he uses his legs. He wants to keep the ball inbounds. Watch the snake ability here. Go outside, come back inside. I'm going to do something with my feet. Just a tremendous athlete, and I know Dan McCarney is happy to have him running his football team. Another thing, he's got him back for another year.
Well, they're just about to get their 4th straight win over Iowa, which will be the longest streak for the Cyclones in this series ever. Right now, Iowa is out of timeouts. Iowa State, all they need to do now is get the first down, and it's over.
We didn't expect anything less than a good old slugfest coming in here. Both these teams had everything on the line as far as getting their 7th victory this season, a chance to improve their bowl opportunities. I really think that both teams are going to get bold shots, chances to play in bowl games.
They will.
But to have a 7th victory, it really opens the door for a better bowl, and that's what Dan McCarney's looking for here, to close the door here with just over a minute left in this ball game.
They took 30,000 to the Inside.com Bowl, and quite frankly, they saved that bowl last year. Pitt probably brought, what, 2,000 or 3,000 people? These fans love to travel. They'll love their Cyclones now. 2 tight ends on 3rd and 3. The first down will do it. Wallace, nice fake, jukes, first down, put it in the books. What a play by Seneca Wallace, the Big 12's newcomer of the year on offense.
Well, you talk about getting first downs, key 3rd and 4th down situations. Give it to the #1 guy that you've got, Seneca Wallace. Play action here, actually the toss. Fake it to your tailback and bring it around the back door. Andrew Moser, #5, really never has a chance. I tell you, Seneca Wallace has a head of steam, the good quicks. Every defensive coordinator in the Big 12 says to a man, this is a guy we didn't know that we had to contend with. But he is somebody that you certainly have to prepare for, and it's not easy to do.
Somebody tell Dan he's winning. No offense, Coach, but...
Well, a little roughness on the quarterback, and that's what he's interested in. He wants to have a healthy quarterback going into their bowl game. And I tell you, there's some seniors out here for this football team, for the Cyclones, that are just, it's taking its toll on him. You see some jubilation there. Dan McCarney, hey, he's going to get the water bucket on top of his head. Hey, it's cold, man. Look at his
4 in a row. Congratulations to Iowa State. They win the Cy-Hawk Trophy. More importantly, they get a better bowl bid. What an effort by this Iowa State team. Iowa tied it up at 14. Ennis Haywood and his teammates answered the call. Tony Yelk's field goal, the difference. By the way, folks, these are unbreakable goalposts that Gene Smith, the former AD, put in. These things, they are guaranteed not to come down.
Well, they're hanging hard on the left goalpost here on the north end of the stadium, and they're going to try to get it down. Very, very remarkable way to end the season here for the Cyclones, going 7 victories against their in-state rival, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Big celebration going on at midfield.
Iowa State wins it 17-14. They wind up the regular season 7-4. Iowa ends up 6-5 after winning 2 straight. They lose, but Iowa State, the Cy-Hawk Trophy winner for the 4th year in a row. They answered the challenge today in adverse conditions. And the fans, rightly so, are on the field. Gary, I tell you what, quickly, Iowa State goes to a bowl. Very impressive, though, 2 years in a row, first time ever.
Well, they're going to travel a lot of people out there. Seneca Wallace is somebody to certainly watch on offense. Their defense can play soundly, so I'll tell you, it's a good team to have in a bowl game.
Once again, our final score, Iowa State wins it 17-14. Congratulations, Dan McCarney and his staff. For Gary Reasons and our entire crew in Ames, Iowa, I'm Ron Thulin. Thanks for watching, everybody.